trying to share the stream out, but it's taking too long. Everything is moving so slow today. Okay, here we go. All right, what's going on, Conscious Crew? Make sure that you guys are thumbing up, thumbing up, thumbing up, thumbing up. We have a riveting dialogue for you today. Also joining me, one of my favorite co-hosts, Bubs Diggle, is in the building. We will be dropping the link because we know that when it comes to queerness and transness, that, you know, queer and transphobia is always ready to talk. So, you know, we will be dropping the link. I'm sure that, you know, the girls and the guys are going to want to run it up on the microphone. So thumbs up, 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 up. This is a town hall meeting. Before we get into it, please make sure that you have your notification bell set to all. Also, make sure that you guys are sharing the stream out to wherever it is you have digital community, whether that be your YouTube community wall, your Snapchat, the dark side of Twitter, Tumblr, or your personal OF. I don't really give a damn where you in fact lay the link. Just let them whores know that we're live, and we're certainly in color. Also, if you want to donate to the platform and keep the lights on around her, you can always donate to the platform at $Consciouztv on Cash App and or paypal.me/Consciouztv. Conscious spelled with the Z on the end, just like it is here on the platform. All handles are in the description box below, as well as Bubs the God's YouTube channel, you guys. He's only 100 folk away at this point from his 1K mark on his channel. So I want you guys to definitely run the subscriptions up over there. And with no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What's going on, Conscious Crew? It is your favorite breakdown commentator, CTV. We are back with another riveting episode. We just got off of a quick live stream. We got into a update in the Megan Thee Stallion versus Sloppy Radio, cyber stalking, cyber harassment, defamation lawsuit. A gag order has been issued. So make sure that you guys click on that live stream prior to this one and get into all those things and run the likes up over there. We are here. This is a fan requested video. We have a lot to catch up on. You guys know that I have been missing in action for the past 4 days. I've just been resting in my femininity. Okay. And now I'm back with all my masculinity to get into all the fuckery and foolery, child. All right. So please run the likes up so we can, you know, be head first into all of those algorithms, child. All right. Let me shout out to the Conscious Crew in the building. What's going on, Shauna, who is ready for this combo? What's going on, Dream Doll? What's going on, GRB? What's going on, Simone? Hey, Voice of Reason. Hey, Crystal. What's going on, Perp? You know, I need to go put that U in mutual in that last stream too. Now that I see Crystal here. What's going on, Kay? Hey, Kimani. What's going on, Chowder? What's going on, Perp? Hey, Boo. Hey, Deanna. What's going on, Lawana? Hey, Medusa. What's going on, Rajan? Hey, Boo. I ain't seen you in a minute. Hey, love. What's going on, Ari? What's going on, Ebony? Hey, Lady Butterfly. Hey, what's going on, House Music? Hey, what's going on? Hey, Auntie Trish. Hi, everybody. What's going on, Arshawn? Oh, I got to hear this one. Oh, I know you do, Arshawn. What's going on, Jasmine? Hey, Danny. Hey, y'all. So, yeah, I'm going to be doing a video talking about this hair, of course. You guys know, girl, it's Wakanda Forever out in this piece. So there's going to be a reel and a short that you guys are going to see on the gram as well as on YouTube. So you'll be getting the deets on the hair. Let me go ahead and bring up my special guest. Hi, Bubs.
What's going on? What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? What's going on? Hello.
I am so happy that you can join me. I know that you love these tied-ass LGBT topics, honey.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I have gladly passed the torch down to you. I used to be king of the LGBT topics. I am burnt out. I can't talk about it no more. So when I do got to talk about it, I always need help talking about it, because at this point, you just can't educate the uneducated. But you know, hope.
And it's
hope.
Pride season, so you know, you would think people would show, you know, that they've been learning, but unfortunately, we see what's really been going on. Unfortunately, so
yeah, a pride.
Hey, y'all, what's going on?
A pride in talking shit and being discriminative. Sure.
As hell.
Sure.
Yes.
Now, just so you guys can see how coordinated me and Bubs are, we totally did not talk about coordination.
Nope.
It just shows you, synchronicity is a real thing. Did you have any inspiration behind your green, or did you just kind of throw in the first thing that was just convenient to you?
Well, green is my favorite color. It's the color of the heart chakra. So I was thinking of something to wear because it's a little warm here. So I'm in a different location, which is why the lighting is different and I look kind of weird, at least to me. But I just saw this and was like, let me throw this on. And lo and behold, green and gray. Interesting. Yes.
And green and black. Yeah.
Yes.
Green became...
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Green became one of my favorite colors. My favorite color used to be silver, blue, and black. Now my favorite colors are all colors.
Okay, silver and gold. And speaking of gold,
yes.
I don't know about the people in the chat that partake of the herb like myself, because by my eyes.
Okay, see? Can Bubs turn up that mic? People are saying continue your mic up. Shit. Let me see if I can raise this volume, because I got some volume settings on my end too, you guys. Let me see.
How does this sound? Does it sound better?
Yeah, but we don't want you holding it that close. Sit it back down. I'm going to see if I raise up your volume, if that will help. Okay, speak.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me back there?
It's definitely a notable volume change. Can you guys hear him better now? You sounded straight before, yeah.
Right.
But people like to hear like Old Testament thunderbolt and damn sound.
I agree. Yes.
Okay. Yes. So if you guys can hear Bubs, okay, everybody's saying that's better. That's better.
And shout out to the chat, making sure that we can get the audio stuff together. I appreciate y'all. Then just watching people fuck their shit up. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate y'all. But now that y'all can hear me, again, you were talking about your favorite colors with gold, and I don't know if there are people in the chat that partake of the herb like I do, because again, my eyes, y'all can see what's going on. My strand I'm on today is called 24 karat gold punch. It is a sativa hybrid. So for those who partake of the herb, let me know in the comments, what herb are you smoking on right now? What edible are you partaking of? Let me know, because we got on the color green. So let us know. I want to know at least.
Yeah, he's a smoker. I don't smoke. I cook. I clean. That's how I got my ring. Yeah. But when I go pull up on Bubs next month, I'm going to let him take me to the upper room. Okay. So
I'm not the only. Never mind.
We're going to be taking some. What you about to say? What?
So apparently, I'm not. You're not going to be the only one going to the upper room.
No, Bubs is going to be. I'm going to be taking Bubs into chambers that he's never been in. So wish him luck.
Girl, what? Oh Lord, not you
wish
over
him
trying to recruit me.
Wish him luck, girl. There's going to be blood and nut and saliva and all type of things involved. Okay, we're going to be getting into real witchery stuff. Okay, but we can't let you guys in on all the secrets of the kingdom. Okay, but yeah, it's going to get real deep. All right.
I'm gonna go from 5'2" to be 6'4", bitch. You kind of a chande, okay?
Yes. Divine kneecap surgery for you. Now, speaking of divinity and all things, you've been working on a project that you've been softly teasing on this platform. You've been busting your ass, as well as working on some trailers for this project, which I'm happy to know will be in part playing out here on the platform. Can you tell people a little bit about this project? And we're going to premiere the super teaser right here.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes,
Okay, so
yes.
take the people away. Tell them about this
Um,
project.
well, first of all, this project was inspired by a book that I read recently entitled Blame It on the Dress, The Manufacturing of Black Homophobia and Performative Masculinity by a individual named Jay Charles, but also goes as the Black Anarchist podcast here on YouTube. Amazing, dope book, really breaks things down. I'm not saying it's the truth within itself, but it's definitely a fucking signpost to the truth. And I think we desperately need to educate ourselves because look at where we at now, y'all, with Trump and shit. We got ourselves here through fear and ignorance. So we have, I feel like, one last chance to make shit right. And I'm gonna do my damn part. So what I'm doing is like a dramatized interpretation of that book. I'll be doing 3 chapters of the book and then like a closing video. And maybe if I do more chapters of the book, it depends on if people fuck with it. And no shade, contribute to it, because baby, it's coming out of my own pocket doing this shit. I'm putting theatrics productions together. I'm doing my Bugs Flow shit. You know what I'm saying? But the teaser trailer that I have is basically a compilation to kind of give y'all an idea of what's to come, and possibly entice y'all enough to go purchase the book and to read it and to educate yourselves. It is Pride Month, Pride season. What better way to actually be an ally than to actually read the fucking book and support queer content creators for real? So if you're really about that life, I definitely want you guys to go ahead and check that out. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. When you do, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to stay informed, because I'll be dropping 2 prelude trailers, because these are teaser trailers. Then here comes the prelude, and then will come the project. And again, just like sex, I don't like rushing into shit. I like to take my motherfucking time, bitch. I want to feel all of it. I don't like pound town. If you won't even get the pound town, but I like the smushing. I won't know. I like it rough and passionate, bitch. I want to feel everything. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna take my time with the project. So if y'all definitely are interested,
I just like to feel in shambles afterwards.
You say what?
I just like to feel in shambles afterwards.
Yes.
I like all that.
I low key want to cry afterwards. I just want to just start crying afterwards. I want to experience that. Yeah.
That's when healing has occurred, when you cry. You know that you've healed deeply. Deep healing.
Remember those songs? What was that one song about? I think it's the OJs. Me and my woman, we cried together and we made love. That's the type of shit I want. Fuck this other sexy red shit. Y'all hoes can have this shit. I want some real good sex and grown sex, bitch. Okay, make me go from 5'2" to 4'8" and don't give a fuck.
Well, the fact that sexy red is a thing just shows us that a lot of people are like trauma bond. So Pound Town is trauma bonding sex. You know, that's the sex you have out of trauma and ego and low vibrationalness. Okay. You know, when you've healed, you start making love. And then when you're whole, you know, that hard and that love collab together. And then it's a nice blending. It's a nice blending.
It's a blending.
Okay, anyway, let's get to the super truth.
Yes.
Okay.
You're not even high, y'all. Look what happened.
Not beside it, not near it, in it, carried through your mama's scream, baptized in the boil of her bones, and still, you ask me why you hate yourself. Blame it on the dress. Step forward, strip down, smile wide. This is your audition. The church gave me the stage. Your mama gave me the script. Your daddy gave me the mirror. And you gave me your soul for the prize of manhood. First came the shame, then came the silence. But one night, beneath the howl of 1,000 black ghosts. He remembered his name, not the one they gave him, the one his mama buried for safekeeping. And the silence broke. I wrote the scripture in red ink, dipped the quill in your mama's prayers, whispered obedience into your boy's mouth, and called it salvation. The devil doesn't live in the footnotes. He lives in the red letters. They never had to scream, just chained you quiet, like a lullaby. And now you hum it to yourself. Blame it on the silence.
Yeah, that's it. I didn't know you was gonna go right into it. My bad. My apologies.
Oh, what do you mean? What a fucking trailer.
Oh, thank you.
So, obviously, this is going to be a treat for those who love horror in particular.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm sorry, I'm putting the link for the book in the chat. My bad.
With the link for the chat. I mean, for your channel as well. Keep
already
your channel links in rotation too.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, wise one. I'm just playing. But one of my favorite movies is Tales from the Hood. I love how it infuses horror with like some of the issues that are going on in the world today, and metaphysics. I love all of that. So I kind of wanted to apply that type of, I guess, energy onto that. And if y'all think that's intense, baby, y'all haven't seen anything yet at all. So yeah, just keep your eyes open for it. And again, please make sure y'all go ahead and purchase the book, Blame It on the Dress, the manufacturing of Black homophobia and performative masculinity. And it's very funny because there's a chapter in the book that is going to speak about what we're going to talk about today, which is very interesting. Yes. So again, I'm not going to give y'all all the book, but bitch, I won't. Look, no shade. I'm going to say this last and I'm done. I'm sorry. If it's one thing, how does the saying go? It says something along the lines of, if you want to keep something away from a nigga, put it in a book.
Unfortunately.
Please don't prove them wrong. Please don't prove. I mean, yeah, please prove them wrong. Please don't prove them right. Please don't prove them right. Prove them wrong, please.
Yeah.
Please. But we gonna see with this conversation, girl. No shade.
Speaking of books, my shit. Speaking of books, it sounds like Nene needs to pick up a few or four herself. There are all type of conversations taking place as a result of Nene Leakes' recent sit down with baby mother T.S. Madison, who's out here receiving mechanical royalties. Okay, period, bitch. She sat down with Nene, and of course, the conversation of men and transness came up, and it's led to a lot of interesting feedback. So we're going to get into what took place toward the latter part of their discussion. And then we're going to get into some of the public response, which there are people who are calling for Nene and her middle part to be canceled. T.S. Madison is also responding to some of the criticism. T.S. Madison also came to Nene's defense, who was being called transphobic by some. And there's just like a lot going on around this discussion. So, courtesy of the Nene Leakes platform, of course, this is fair use. Once again, you guys can find Bubs to God's links in the description box as well. So please subscribe to Bubs. And we're going to be doing an old Nancy piece of fair use here. And I think this is going to be audio for now. Yeah, audio for now. So if you hear anything so far, anything at any point you want to speak to, just let me know so I can pause it. Okay. All right, you guys. So Nene Leakes and T.S. Madison.
With you. And so I need somebody that's just well traveled. They understand, they get it, they have a career. I just need somebody like that.
I'm gonna date several men at a time.
Well, if you meet somebody that's just good for me, let me know. Because
would you date him if I know him?
Yeah, that doesn't. Do you only know gay men?
Well, I don't date gay men.
Well, okay. Well, I when you guys be saying that, that's weird.
Why?
Because what do you mean you don't date gay men? Because if he is sleeping with you and sleeping with a woman, he's something.
Well, he's gay.
What is he?
He's definitely not gay.
He's bi?
Listen, because if a man come in here and he looks at me and you,
yeah, what is he?
Well, he likes women.
Yeah, because he doesn't know.
And if he does, he likes women.
Okay.
All right, so it gets interesting almost immediately. So I always think that it's interesting when people are confused as to trans women and men, because why would homosexuals be attracted sexually and or romantically to female presenting individuals of any kind? Why? I mean, gay men a lot of times barely even want to date like feminine presenting gay men, yet alone trans women who entirely live their lives as women and assimilate to women. But it's interesting to me that Nene Leakes can look at any trans woman, and certainly a woman like T.S. Madison, who has completely assimilated to femininity, and in her mind, it still makes sense as to why a man who's attracted to men dating T.S. Madison.
But I think it goes back to the fact of, like, again, with the education aspect and learning, at the end of the day, regardless of where we are in the community, they still see us all the same. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's interesting because, again, I think T.S. Madison and other trans women as well have said, and firstly, I'm not a trans person. I can't speak in totality. I know that a lot of times gay men speaking on these issues can also upset individuals in the trans community. So if that is the case, please forgive me if there's anything that I'm saying out of context or that is wrong or that is ignorant. Please educate me, because I'm all about learning. But from what I've learned, it's just the fact of, like, again, to your point, T.S. Madison aesthetically to societal norms fits that. She is fish. She is woman. She does that. That's what she is.
We don't use the term fish over here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We don't use cis and we don't use fish out of respect.
Okay. But also, hold on, wait a minute. No shade. We might have a little bit of a pass because it's Pride Month. No shade.
Nope.
That is also the problem a little bit too.
All things said and discussed here on the platform are not necessarily a reflection of the channel holder himself.
Correct.
So if y'all need to cancel anyone, Bub's link is in the description box, baby. Okay?
That's fine, because what God
y'all can direct
is for me, and nobody can tear me asunder except me. But all I'm saying is this.
Hold on. Arshawn, I don't see nothing wrong with cis. And there's a lot of men and women who are conscious group members who don't mind the term cis, but there seems to be a bigger pool of men and women on my channel who don't like the term cis, particularly women. Men haven't really cried aloud about cis. It's the females who feel away about cis. I don't know Yes. So that, and because I don't feel like arguing for 2025, even if it's for a just cause, even when it's in the name of all things light, love, and enlightenment, because I don't have. See, my hairline is strong for a reason. It's because I'm not arguing with these hoes. I'm not arguing with hoes in the world no more. I'm not arguing with niggas and they do rags. I'm not arguing with some of these women and they struggle post relaxed ponytails. I am just not going to do it. I prefer my hairline over the stress of arguing with folks. So, we just take certain things off the table. So, yeah, I mean, but it is Pride Month. So, if you want to do it up and really trigger the masses, honey, cisgender away, Bubs.
I mean, well, I was just going to say before I get more to my point, it's just interesting because, again, even people were saying that T.S. Madison, it's always the people who have the plea of what's going on and carrying the burden of proof. It's kind of like once that burden of proof is put out and it's so overwhelming, then it's like now there is this humbling experience that queer people have to go through, and we are always the ones that have to be humble and we have to be peaceful. Doesn't that sound familiar, Black people? We always have to be peaceful. We have to always, going back to the point, especially this Pride Month, no shade, especially in Trump era, we're gonna talk our shit this month, no shade, but even someone said in the comment section with Nene Leakes aesthetic is kind of giving close to TS. So again, transphobia is going to affect everybody, including, for respect purposes, biological women. But again, I think we are not having the full conversation, because there's a part of me, and correct me if I'm wrong, that there is an aspect to where it's like, damn, for females and women, especially Black women, not only do I have to compete with white bitches, not only do I have to compete with my other sisters, not only do I have to compete with these exotic, now I have to compete with men, or in their mind, someone who is cosplaying as a woman, but they're really a man. So I think if we were to start going in that realm with the conversations, we can really get to the healing aspect. Going back to what you said earlier, that trauma sex feel real good, bitch, because you're used to it. All that, you like that shit, but it's toxic. It hurts you in the end. It bites you in the ass. Then you get to a point to, like you said, you start having a point where you're having sex from a heel place, so you're making love. It's passionate, it's affirming, it's loving. And now that y'all mastered that, y'all can love like lovers and fuck like motherfuckers who don't. And it's a beautiful thing. But I think we need to start having those conversations. So I'm on T.S. Madison's side with this. No shade. I don't think Nene Leakes needs to be canceled, because again, there are people.
You ain't got to unpack the whole thing, because we ain't got through the conversation.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
The weed is weeding. The weed is weeding. I'm sorry.
Hey, Delia Beauty, hey boo, who made an interesting comment. This is a natural born woman checking other natural born women or females. Delia says, I do have an issue with women not accepting the term cis, but wanting to use biology in their arguments.
And pause.
Right. If you don't want to use cis, don't be using the biology scientific argument then, because now we're going into that clinical shit y'all don't like. Now we're going into that Sigmund Freud academic scholarly language that y'all don't like. Don't see, it's the cherry picking for me. And then it's the issue of acting like cis is a slur when it literally is just another way, as far as I'm concerned, of saying I'm not trans. Basically. Because now that we're living in a blended society where us as the mutants, aka the LGBT community, the same gender loving men like me and Bubs, the non-binaries, the trans folk, the mutants are now living, amongst society. We're daywalkers now. Okay, we're walking amongst dominant society. Right. We now, because we enter into conversations where we're talking about our social experiences, who we was on the yacht with, how we date, and now we want to delineate between people. We need language that then helps you to understand, at least conversationally, the difference between one and another. Because if I'm now in this era, in the 21st century, in modern day, using the broad term woman, I could be talking about trans women, because that's a term that's now inclusive of trans women. So now, if we want to be extra meticulous and nuance it, I may need to delineate between, well, what type of women am I talking about? Am I talking about trans women who could fall under the umbrella term woman, or am I talking about non-trans women? So cisgender is literally just a way for non-trans individuals to be able to say, I'm not trans.
Correct.
That's really just what cis
Pretty
means.
much.
I'm not a trans person.
Pretty
And
much.
and you have people acting like that's equivalent to the FAG word. Don't call me. You don't also want to be called
Don't
trans.
call me sis.
Right, but you don't want to be mistaken as trans either. Do you?
But then when it happens, it's a problem and an issue. And now you want people to start having this level of awareness about your life and your experience and what you've been through, when you could have done that for the other person as well. Ain't it funny how life goes around, how it works in that way? You know what I mean? But again, like I was saying, real quick before we go forward, I'm sorry. For the people who are not, there are people in this conversation who really do not know, but really want to learn, but unfortunately end up being innocent casualties in this situation. And we need to talk about that too and work on that. For the people who want to learn, for the people who want to tap into humanity, I'm really talking to y'all. For the rest of the people who want to be,
Oh shit. I just ignorantly kicked Bubs off. Oh my god, Bubs. Hit the link again. I don't know what the hell I thought I was looking at down there. I thought that was the Mercial girl. Ooh, child, hold on. Let me check. Okay, here Bubs go. My bad.
you ain't stopping shit, bitch. Hell no, to the no.
You're right at ignorant. Take it
Well,
away.
that's the universe saying, "Girl, shut up and let's see if the people are learning." No. Because this is why the conversation gets so tiring. Because we do all of this, and we put in the work, the effort, the energy. I mean, CTV. Look at the platform. One time he was on live with a motherfucker for 10 hours, and the nigga still didn't get it. Literally, with the whole cis situation, you have people that are looking at it like, oh, well, when they mean cis, they're talking about CYST, like a cyst. It's like, oh my God, girl, you have information in your fucking fingertips, and we still here, and y'all worried about the future. Yeah, you need to be worried about the future. But then these C19 babies are coming in this world not giving a fuck. Then y'all gonna feel some type of way. Do you get what I'm saying? So again, I think this is the time to learn, and I'm gonna shut the hell up because I just want to see if people learning or not. You ain't gotta agree with everything that's going on, but you can at least respect it. And people have a problem with respecting it, but they want to be respected. I don't get how that works. But I'll shut up. Go ahead.
Some of y'all are gonna have to really listen and comprehend in slow motion. Okay, I know everybody. You know, Miss Lady said, I'm just asking, if I'm a woman and another type of woman comes to play, why would I have to change from? You're not. When has a title ever changed you? It's a way to distinguish you.
Hold on. Let me ask this question.
Wait.
I'm sorry.
Hold on.
Do your thing.
Above, pray for my patience. This is not just merely a commentating live stream today. This is an educational one. So,
I agree.
Pray. Okay, I need to change gears because I'm in another type of. I'm in a commentating mode when this is an educational stream. So I need to have the mind of an educator.
Like you said before, girl, both hand the shit. Both handed. Start off slow, then go ahead, tear it up.
Yes. The term cis is not meant to change what you are. It's to distinguish you based upon what you are. As Delia said in the chat, it literally means you present as woman, you identify as woman. That means me and you are on the same page, boo, that you're all woman. That's what cis means. It doesn't take anything. If anything, it literally affirms what you are you saying and presenting about yourself. It doesn't change you as a woman or a man. It distinguishes you and affirms that you are a natural born, original, aboriginal, whatever the hell term makes you feel like that bitch. Okay? when it comes to talking about your natural cooter and your natural ovaries and your natural birthing capabilities, baby, it just means you are that. You are her, baby. You are her, okay? Cis means you are in fact her, baby. Okay? Trans means I'm not her, but I am like her. Okay, so that's just another hooked on phonics way to understand the term cis versus trans. Cis, I'm her. Trans, I'm like her. Okay? That this is just a remedial delivery of cis versus trans. Both terms affirm how both individuals identify. Okay,
And no shade. We need the levels of education. That's why it's called levels. That's the importance of it. And I guess the question I want to ask before we go forward, because there's more. This is so much. That's why it's so much, because it's like we could be working on it, but
people are getting it. I feel amazing right now.
And those are the individuals that this live is really for those who want to understand it. Because like I said, there are people who want to learn but are just innocent casualties, and we can help prevent that if we educate. Do you get what I'm saying? And on top of that, I guess the question I want to ask is, for the biological females who, again, to CTV's point, y'all are mothers. Y'all are mother of all mothers. It's called Mother Earth. We come out of y'all. Now, I mean, I want to go back in, and I was a C-section baby, so I was gay for real, bitch. I didn't even come out. I came out.
Oh, that explains a lot.
Oh, it does? Okay, well, there you go. Maybe there's some information for you there. But I can still respect, honor, cherish, love females, women, and the expression of that. And no shade, gay men have been doing that. Hello. But at the same time, I guess what I want to know is, what do you feel like it is objectively taking away from you? Is money being removed from your bank account? Is food being removed from your fridge? Is your internet fucking up? Is the edges not growing back in like it used to be? What objectively, without using religion, because that's a subjective thing for you, objectively speaking, like if you were going into the court of law and you had a bunch of different people of different faiths, different beliefs, who all came together and was being objective jurors, what objectively do you feel like is being taken from you? Because if there is some information that I'm not privy of, let me know. I'm in student mode. No shade. So let me know. Am I missing something? And again, I can't speak in totality. I'm speaking from a cisgender gay black man's perspective, and that's not the fullness of it, which is why these conversations are important. No shade. But for the individuals who do have problems, there will also be smoke too, baby, because we in Trump's America. At this point, girl, it's about to be the purge. So at this point, we got the green on. So, and I low-key should grab my pieces upstairs, but I forgot about that. But yeah.
I see a lot of comments, and we are going to go over all of y'all comments, you guys, as we get through this commentary, and we will be dropping the link. It's a lot of good stuff that you guys are saying. We're glad that y'all are here. T says, I think women are on defense because sometimes I don't think people understand how hard it is to be a woman and it's being overlooked like we're all 100% alike. And that's what's amazing. See, that's also to the to trans people's plight, is that, because I know that people feel a way about the term social construct, but unfortunately, that's exactly what man and woman is. Yes. Man and woman is the social construct of male and female. Male and female biology, man and woman social construct, because to T. Collins' point, right now, all men and all women are equal. You know, the upbringing of a Middle Eastern Muslim woman is going to be very different from the upbringing of an apostolic or a Christian American woman, or of a Scientology upbringing, or of a West Indies upbringing. Like, all these things make us different as people. our culture, the way we've been socialized, indoctrinated, our nationality. Am I saying that right? Our nationality? Our nationality.
Right. Yep,
Yes.
nationality.
I feel like I ain't talked in a long time.
That's
I feel
because
like
you
I
ain't
ain't
talking enough,
spoken.
bitch.
I ain't
Go
spoken
in, girl.
in a long time.
Go in. That's the spirit saying,
Okay?
go in.
These are all of these social constructings. Okay. So, and then we have trans vocal chorus, and we have intersex vocal chorus. So, all these things, you know, man and woman, male and female, biology versus social construct, which the social construct is just the details. So, like, what type of male, what type of female are you? American, Christian, atheist, Scientology, black, white? You know, all these things determine personality, determine your personality traits, determine your perspective, determine a lot of your preferences, sometimes your social status, your economic status, etc. Like, you know, are you a right-wing woman? Are you a left-wing woman? Are you a MAGA? You know, I mean, all these things, these are the social constructs. These are the subjective parts of who we are. These are the things that can be assimilated to. Okay, how do male and female carry themselves based upon your particular demographic and culture? We know that Muslim women have an entirely different aesthetic, and the way they socialize, the way they relate to the opposite sex is very different to our very privileged American women, honey. Okay, who around here boss babing this shit. Hijab, where is it a hijab? Hijab? What's the term?
Hijab.
Hey, hijab. Yeah, hijab where, honey? Just got, you know, just free as all hell, baby. Okay, those are two totally different vantage points. This is why we call it a culture shock when you visit a foreign land or an exotic land, or you enter into a space that's not like your own, because we're not all the same just because we're all human. Okay, human would be the biology. Yes. Human, the biology. Okay.
Hijab, there we go. Yeah, but it's the infinite expression of humanity. That's the beautiful part. The way I look at life now is like, I'm glad you got to do it, so I ain't got to. You know what I'm saying? If you look at it in that way, I think life would be a lot better. But I do want to say this before we go forward. In the last comment you had put up about what women go through, I do think a part of it, and again, I want to make sure I'm correct. No shade. Black women in America are probably not probably, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say the most fatigued. The feminine aspect of blackness has been very fatigued because it's been carrying the fucking community. Didn't T.S. Madison and Craig say that on one of their shows about how the feminine energy, black women, and the queer community has carried the black community? You know what I'm saying? So I think for a lot of black women, they're just tired as well, and they want their slice of the pie. But the problem and the issue that we keep, I guess, not really focusing on is that we are all affected by one particular source too, which is this form of not healed, whole, aligned masculinity, but toxic, narcissistic, okay, self-deprecating, anything low vibrational ass type of fucking energy. And we've all been affected by that to where now we've done that to each other. Again, if you read Blame It on the Dress, there's a chapter in there where it speaks about how this system, white supremacist system, has pitted us against each other to make black men, and not the whole black brother strong. Brian, talking about that one. Talking about the broken one, the land of lost boys ass one grown up and shit, fucking the community up, destroying the community objectively. Girl, let me shut up. We can go for it.
She says socially and biologically it's hard to be a woman. I literally have to go to work. And even that is very nuanced, right? Even the biological thing, right? Because not all humans are XYXX, which is where intersex people come from. So even on a genetic chromosomal level, you know, the science is also very black and white, which is why we have to have language that nuances this thing, because sometimes the way we speak is very gatekeeping. It lacks nuance. It's not inclusive, and sometimes it's not even fully scientifically supported. So just like even in the biology part of being female, not all females bleed, not all females have a menstrual, not all females experience cramp, not all females have the capacity to give birth. You know, I mean, there's all of this nuance, even when we're talking biologically about the sexes, you know, not, yeah, like really, if we're having a scientific conversation, the scientific conversation is just as messy as the social conversation is about the sexes and the genders. In all actuality, which is why, you know, we should be very open to nuance and inclusive language. I mean, that's really what we're attempting to do as a modern society that's recognizing all these variations of female and male and everything in between, and then identity, which we're going to get into as well. Okay, let's continue on in the conversation because it's going to get thick. It's going to be a lot to go. It's going to be a lot going on.
Oh Lord.
So, but what is he?
Well, that will possibly, it's a possibility.
He's bisexual?
He could be bi or he could be pan.
Okay, what was pan? I forget. That means you be whatever you like, whatever you like.
Parts, not parts.
Right. So whatever you see you like,
I like
whatever
that.
I'm on, that's what
Parts, not parts for pansexual. But that's so adorable. I feel like I'm kind of pansexually, because I feel like, especially at this point, the type of damn scientific experiments I put my damn consciousness and brain through up to this point has made me very, how can I word this? I'm more open to things that I did not know I had a capacity to be open to. Like my capacity to be sexually attracted to women has grown. Certainly my palette as it relates to what I like in men has kind of always been very general, but it's gotten even more damn broad now, you know. So even when it comes to like pansexuality and this concept of being attracted to people that you have non-physical attraction to, which can be like based upon chemistry, compatibility, how you vibe with a person's intellect, their personality, when it kind of is about other things aside from the physical self. And here's a very, and I know niggas about to lose their hairlines when I say this, you know, and
oh my God,
they're going to find this to be a unfortunate truth. In the question of, then if a man is attracted to me as a biological woman, and then he's attracted to you as a trans woman, then what the hell does that make him? And TS is saying, well, definitely not gay. And then Nene's like, okay, bisexual could be, pansexual maybe, heterosexual could be. Because even when we're talking about trans women, right, and trans attractedness, not all trans women still have their the genitals assigned to them at birth. So to Nene's point, I think she imagines that all trans women are still carrying the genitals that are original to their anatomy when there are post-op trans women. Now, Madison is a transsexual, so she still has some of her original hardware. Okay, but not all transgender folk have their original hardware. Mm-hmm. And T.S. Madison is going to go into another conversation about how, because the majority of her has assimilated to women, there are men who will tell her to tuck her big cock away. You know, because they're into they're into the social construct. They're into the presentation of the femininity. And because they don't have any sexual or romantic use of the cock, You know, they don't want to see that. But then there are some men who don't mind the cock. And the reason why I think this is interesting, how I know it's Pride Month, but I'm going to continue to keep it respectful. I'm natural born women. I'm not going to say cis. Natural born women. It's funny to me when natural born women are even confused about women, trans women, who still have their hardware, because y'all forget that there's an entire demographic of natural born women who peg, who love to fuck men, who love to play the dominant role, who are into the BDM, SM, who are dominatrix. And there are plenty of straight men who love that type of hardware in their ass. And they want it from a woman up their ass. I know men who get pegged. I know men who love hardware in their ass. And they want that hardware in their ass from women. So even in the straight community, there are straight women who can identify as tops, literally, because they love to top. Natural born women love to top. They love to make that ass clap. And there are straight men who love their cheeks clapped by natural born women. So even in this conversation around trans women who still have their hardware, I can see how a man would still be straight, because that would be no different than him fucking a natural born woman with a strap-on on. Him fucking a natural born woman who, you know, who got the strap. What's the motherfucking difference? There are straight men who are into getting their prostates massaged. There are straight men who also have a lot of feminine energy, and they like to express that sexually when it comes to women. So they look for more dominant natural born women in the bedroom. Or they may look for that emotionally. They may like a woman who's just more alpha in nature, you know, who likes to run the household, tell you what the fuck you gonna do. Tell you what the fuck you gonna go. Okay? And niggas who, look, this shit is psychological, it's sexual, it's this whole conversation around gender and sexuality is so nuanced, and sometimes straight folk really play dumb to this. Like, stop acting stupid. Stop acting stupid, because when y'all try to make trans women some bizarre phenomenon, and then y'all try to make the conversation around, well, what type of niggas would be attracted to this? Stop acting stupid, as if straight men don't get fingered in their ass, don't get rim jobbed in their ass, don't get hard pounded in their ass. Stop acting like they're not straight women who love to be dominant in the bedroom, who love to pull out the strap on. Hell, you know what's funny? They can't understand why a straight man would lay down with a trans woman who still got her hardware but identify as straight, but not that confused about lesbians using strap-ons. Would you say that a lesbian is still heterosexual because her female partner is using a strap-on? No. Because sex is also compartmentalized. You can like certain sexual behaviors without being attracted to a particular gender. Right. You can like the dick of a man without the man. You can like the pussy of a woman without the woman. Oh. Like this shit gets sticky like this.
No pun intended.
We want so bad for the sex to be so black and white. It's always been gray. It's a bigger gray space than it is color. I've always said that the H heterosexual should be a part of the acronym, because when you go on any adult website, that straight category is real nuanced, girl. You bitches are dressed up in bears, polar bears, snakes, fur babies, your damn tops, your bottoms, your men in cages and identifying as bunny rabbits, baby. It's all type of freaking shit.
2 girls, 1 cup. One man, 1 cup. One man, 1 horse.
There's all type of freaky shit going on under that hetero headline. Under that hetero. label. That hetero got a big ass umbrella too, bitch.
As fuck.
Stop playing on my head top. Now, this is what I want to say about men that's gonna make them lose their hairlines. Oh my God. Men, the day that I'm going to know that men are free and have reached true spiritual liberation
I might want to light up
is
for this one.
when men finally admit that they are sexually fluid.
Oh,
Most men are sexually fluid.
Eat edible to Sunday.
That's why they clapping my ass behind your back. That's why they're having Buff to God clap their asses behind your back.
I hope they wipe.
That's why they're fucking TS behind your back.
You're going to have to pay $5,000.
This is a personal truth that men's community are going to have to come to grips with. Yes. And men have always been sexually fluid.
Of course. Check the locker rooms, bitch.
These are the things that men have been doing in the crevices and the privacies and in the discretions of their brotherhood.
Well,
for centuries and centuries across Mother Earth. Men are sexually fucking fluid.
As fuck.
Sorry. Most of y'all who don't want a nigga who into trans already done been with niggas unbeknownst to you. Who prefer
my God. Well,
most of you who refuse to date a bisexual man have already dated, probably currently married to, engaged to, tricking off on niggas.
Both-handed.
That got niggas. And it really shouldn't be that appalling considering that women been out here carpet munching, eating and gobbling down sausage like you're crazy. Y'all been flip-flopping and been gymnasts since America had a crown, baby. You been gymnasts, baby.
Okay.
Since King James had a goddamn harem, baby. You been cartwheeling and backflipping and busting splits, baby.
Spin around, keep the dick still inside.
Niggas
still go to church.
Niggas been doing the same thing.
Yes.
Just ain't been as vocal. Just ain't been as vulnerable. Just ain't been as transparent about it.
Lord.
But been doing the same motherfucking thing. I actually think that the original sexuality of humanity has been gender fluidity, has been pansexuality. I remember y'all.
I'm gonna put a pin right there
because I'm ranting.
Said that. No, and we love it because that's why we're here. We already looking militant as fuck already. Somebody said we look fatigued and ready to whoop ass. But here's the thing, though. Again, CTV did a live, especially for the Black community, about how free we were in Africa. How there were different tribes that, according to our perspective, we would call that shit gay, but to them, that's just a part of life. Again, inclusive, not taking anything away, but sharing space. Sharing space, that's it. But this system came through and put us in a box. And we've been conditioned in that box for a long time that now we over here putting other motherfuckers in the box. So again, the fail-safe of the system keeps proving itself to be useful, and we keep doing that. Which is why we keep having these conversations. CTV been breaking this shit down. No shade. I know a place where you can recharge your soul, bitch, and I guess if you freaky enough and he like it enough, you got coin girl, recharge the whole too. This one or that one, it doesn't matter. We have to explain that, and no shade. There's another individual by the name of Boss Man did a live talking about how we really are as fluid and we just don't believe that, or we're afraid to explore that. Like, for example, I'm a top, and I'm gonna be conscious enough to say I'm a top right now because this bitch over here, girl, this Angela Davis shit on, girl, keeps speaking some sort of bottom spirit on me, girl, and he not the only one, Lord. You know what I'm saying? But again, I'm going to be open and say, I don't know what happened in the next 10, 15 years. Again, going back to what he was saying about individuals in the bedroom having sex and men exploring themselves and being happy. Again, there is a certain area.
I'm just trying to get Bubs to understand that his true tea is in the design, the devil in the details. Bubs' front-facing cameras is for the bottoms. His back-facing camera is for the top.
Okay,
The
now you
T
about to
is
make
literally in the design.
now you about to maybe jump ship and jump on the ship with the other motherfuckers, not girl. Because I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But I'm just saying, objectively speaking, I don't know what 10, 15 years down the line is. I could be in a place where I love my partner so much that yeah, I don't mind exploring that with him because love is there. But going back to the whole thing about men be able to explore themselves in the bedroom, some men like to be able to bust the best nut ever. And as a man who has, as a male who has a dick, girl, and even had my phases, T.S. Madison said it best: men will fuck anything. Niggas will hump
That's that
mattresses,
fluidity, honey.
pillows. They will some motherfucker would stick their dick inside of damn peanut butter and shit and put it back in the thing. Nasty bitch. Niggas be nasty like that. You get what I'm saying? So again, when it comes down to a nut, because a lot of men, especially black men, to CTV's point, is not healed, whole, aligned, and complete, that will be their downfall. How many fucking empires and countries and marriages and families and all type of shit been destroyed because a nut was too much to pass up? But look at how we've been conditioned to believe that. So again, this is a bigger conversation, and we ain't gonna never get through the bigger conversation if people are not willing to deal with the basics. But that's the problem. Why are we still struggling with the basics? And the reason why we're struggling is because there's fear there. And I'm gonna say this lastly: as an individual, as a top, it doesn't mean that I'm gonna be dominant all the time. Sometimes, in the words of Petey Pablo, bitch, I want to lay back, relax, and enjoy my turn. I want to be able to have motherfuckers tell me to sit down, okay? Choke my ass, okay? Put my legs in the air, and I'm fucking you. Take control of me. So, but see, that's a way that you can still be submissive. And I think a lot of black men are, just like how black women are tired of holding up the front, I think black men are getting to a point to where they're tired of performing this fake ass masculinity, and they're trying to find ways to heal. But the reason why they do it in the dark is because when they walk in the truth, there's a problem with it. So we got to pick a struggle here. You can't sit up here and say, oh, well, you got to tell the truth, walk in your truth. But when they walk in their truth, you demonize them. Because when you do that, all that shit come around to bite you in the ass. That's the prelude, bitch. It's a prelude.
And that's going to come up in their discussion too. But, you know, I think what can break up some of this binary and some of this monotony is the fact that, like, we literally have to accept that both male and female hold both the feminine and the masculine. Both sexes absolutely inherently do. And because male and female both have access to both feminine and masculinity, we're always going to be subjected to feminine expression and masculine expression, whether that comes out artistically, whether that comes out emotionally, whether that comes out mentally, or whether that comes out sexually, because the feminine and masculine can personify itself in all of these things. In your intellect, in your nurturing, soft-spoken grandfather, in your alpha-ass grandmama who was running the household with an iron fist, like fucking Medea. It could come out sexually. It could come out artistically, such as men having a feminine personal style or aesthetic, and or women having a masculine personal style and or aesthetic. You know, the tomboys and the tom girls. This is all nuanced. So if we can accept that males and females both have feminine and masculine capacity, it won't surprise us when a man might need tonight his feet to the ceiling. He may need to lay back, baby, because in his everyday life, he wears the pants. In his everyday life, he has to maintain structure because that's what he is societally, you know, assimilating to. If I'm a man, I got to keep it together, I got to be the breadwinner, etc. So he may want to sexually relax in his femininity. He may want his feminine counterpart to take over in that capacity. Or a man can switch it up. His femininity may not want to be expressed sexually, but socially. So he may not mind bringing the bacon home, but he may want his woman. to do all the calculations on the bills. He may want her to do all of the spending. He may want her to be the visionary for the family. And he's just a helper outer. And you see all of these variations in modern society. We're living in an era now where you have stay-at-home dads. You have boss babes women, high-earning women. You got male nannies. You see all of this fluctuation and variation. So I think a lot of this doesn't look so crazy when you literally accept that men have femininity too, and they need to be in touch with their femininity, and they're going to be in touch with their femininity. And when they don't honor their femininity, it comes out in self-harm. It comes out through toxic masculinity. It comes out through hurt and harm emotionally, physically, if not unto themselves, unto others. Right. Except that women have masculinity. And when women deny themselves that masculinity, it turns into self-harm and or harm unto other people. We mutate when we don't honor our divine truth. Mm-hmm. Which is that we're all, as you know, the scriptures say, I made both male and female in my image, one consciousness, dispersed.
Loki made in our image. Who is our? Who is our?
Let's continue on.
On the
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
You know, a lot of men are a lot of men are paying, but they don't say anything. Like
I don't want to run into them. I don't want to date him.
Nene, if you've dated,
I need you to like
Nene. If you've
Hello
dated,
Kitty
if you've dated men,
yes.
If you've dated men, there's a possibility in your life.
I want to go back to that.
Hey, right. So whatever you see you like, whatever I'm on, that's what I'm on today.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
You know, a lot of men are a lot of men are paying, but they don't say anything. Like
I don't want to run into them. I don't want to date him.
Nene, if you've dated,
I need you to like
Nene. If you've
Hello
dated,
Kitty.
I'm gonna be honest. When I hear people talking like this on both sides, male and female, etc., it gets insecure. Because, and I'm gonna tell you how this statement just falls apart. I want my man to only be into pussy. No, it's not. You want him to be into everything else too, including only you. And there is like a subtle ignorance and homotransphobia about this argument because it's only about gatekeeping pussy and dick. But you don't have a problem with your man being into pussy only, but also into only skinny pussy, only into hairy pussy, only into pussy that can give birth, white pussy, Chinese pussy, Congo pussy, African pussy, Nigerian pussy, Northern American pussy, Southern American pussy, outer space pussy. Pussy is in variations. Why is there this hyper fixation on him only being into pussy as really if that's where the buck really stops when you know that it doesn't? You're not worried about all these other pussies that exist because what you're not really addressing and being honest about as a woman is that you don't want to admit to the insecurity that may have come through upbringing. It may have come through culture that makes you inherently insecure, which is why you always feel that by default, you're competing with everybody in the motherfucking room. And it's okay to admit that because that's where the healing and the solution and the conversation really is. You're not all this projection onto trans women or onto trans attracted men just so that you can run away from the real elephant in the room, which is the insecurity you have in your own pussy. That's what we need to be talking about.
Yes. Somebody said it.
Your pussy insecure. Because let me tell you something.
Mhm.
I'm a real life, homegrown, Kentucky Fried Chicken grown bad bitch. Most men that are attracted to me are pansexual, trans-attracted, and or bisexual men because, you know, I got that androgynous thing going on. So niggas who have an appreciation for the feminine, you know, love them some CTV. I never once in dating bisexual men ever thought about women. I never thought about it, like competing, never. Like I never even wrestled with the idea. Because if you fucking with me, I assume you fucking with me until you're not fucking with me. Even when I'm dating same gender loving men, I'm not even thinking about other same gender loving men. I'm not competing with none of you flat booty ass bitches. As far as I'm concerned, there is no competition. There's options, but there's no competition. And nothing will ever inherently remove that option. Men and women will both always have options. The question is not your orientation. The question is your capacity to commit. Because bisexual people can be committed.
Mhm.
Straight folk can be committed. Same gender loving folk can be committed. I don't give a fuck about what you like, because if I have to start acting like you being bisexual is a thing, I also have to admit that you having eyes is a problem. Because even if I'm not, because even if I'm not competing with members of the opposite sex with that same psychology, I am still competing with members of the same sex. So really, you can't soothe yourself. Like that logic gonna run you into a wall every single time until you get to a place of self-confidence.
Hello.
Until you're only concerned about who's concerned about you. And until you can accept that bisexuality, pansexuality, transattractedness are not synonymous with cheating, and that cheating is something that is performed all day, every day by heterosexual identifying folk.
Mm-hmm.
So don't make the conversation around bisexuality a competitive one, as if to be straight and to only date straight men somehow means that that man is inherently faithful when he isn't. And what I'm pretty much wanting to happen is like, let's have the real conversation. There's like, it's all of this shielding when it comes to this conversation around sexuality and what people are afraid of, and the way that people slander the fuck out of bisexual people, and all this fucking projection that, you know, gets thrown into the laps of trans folk and trans attracted men, etc. That's not the real conversation. That's not the substantive conversation. That's not the elephant in the room, boo. It's not. But before I press play, anything you want to add to that? Because when I tell you I'm not competing with no bitch and no nigga ever.
But that's because you've reached a level of self-mastery.
Not only have I reached it, I believe in the salivating of my niggas. I can see your slobber for me. I can see your desperation for me, girl. When they say, when a person show you who they are, I believe that, baby. Okay? There's nothing to compete with. I'm a one of one, like every other individual is. A one of one. One of one. Whether that's male or female. I do not understand how people can carry around these insecure thoughts like this. Like, are y'all really paranoid about bisexual men? I would be paranoid about cheaters, but not bisexuals.
Right.
Those are not synonymous to one another. Cheaters and bisexuals are not synonymous.
Correct.
I would be worried about cheaters, whether he gonna cheat on me with a bitch or cheat on me with a nigga. I don't really care about who you're attracted to. Because for the time being right now, right here, bitch, you're attracted to me. And I'm attracted to you. And that's what we're building on. And if you need a little dick every now and again, I got you. If you need a little bussy every now and again, I got you. You know, we can work all that out in the bedroom. Those things are customizable.
Right.
Now, I guarantee you there's a lot of single people right now in the world who gonna die a lonely bitch.
Lord.
Because they cannot conceive of rubbing on their soulmate's asshole.
Thank you, Jesus.
Or they can't conceive, baby, of finally opening up that bussy hole to their partner and setting their soul free, baby. And I just can't believe, baby, that some people gonna let that be the cost. Some people gonna let that be the cost of the lifelong, high quality companionship that they could have in one lifetime, baby.
You like because your sons are...
baby, it ain't gonna never be that deep. That's some deep shit, baby. That's some deep, deep, dark indoctrination, baby, that completely just offends. Ultimately, what comes down to human nature.
Yeah.
And that's really what human sexuality is a product of. It's human nature.
Yeah.
A person is not at fault for what feels good to their body. If a tongue in my ass makes me shiver, that's not my fault. People cannot help what feels pleasing to them. Just like you don't choose the food that tastes good to you, what tastes good to you just tastes good to you. You didn't choose the taste. You didn't choose your favorite color, it chose you. You didn't choose your favorite meal, it chose you. You didn't choose your favorite drink, it chose you. You had no intention went into you liking what you liking.
Right.
Those are all preset conditions and preset pre-provided data that you come with. And when you're in the world, you just experiment in order to figure out what your body tick-tock to, what you are. You discover that through self-discovery. You're not choosing anything. Everything has already chosen you.
That part.
You're just put on the chessboard to go ding dong with everything to see what the fuck TikTok's back.
Correct.
So why the fuck are we discriminating against folk because of what they fucking like? Okay, if you a straight woman, you feel like your man ain't a man if he want a piece of plastic in his ass. So then you're also saying that I'm not a man and I pay my motherfucking bills. And I'm a law-abiding, tax-paying ass motherfucking citizen. And I will whip your niggas ass.
Lord.
As well. How does a sexual position, a sexual proclivity have anything to do with one's competency as a woman or one's competency as a man? What do these things have to do with one's integrity and one's ability to be a well-grounded human being? To be a stable fixture for you and your children? Most of y'all got gay besties who are playing substitute boyfriends to you. Who taking care of your kids like they're their own. Who are helping to pay your bills like they live underneath that raggedy ass roof with you.
Can you pay my bills? Can you pay my telephone bill?
With them niggas going upside y'all heads and y'all got gay besties, we the ones y'all calling to come be a man to this man. To come get this man together. To come do what only a man can do, right?
Where your daddy at? Where your brother at?
So we see this type of hypocrisy all the time where people who want to gatekeep these orientations and shit, like they don't maintain the continuity of their thinking. There are 50 trillion holes all up and through their arguments. It's time to stop running, baby. It's the 21st century. Decolonize your fucking brain and your goddamn soul. Get rid of the fucking bigotry. And if you want to put that strap on and finally know what it feels like to have a dick, do what you need to do. If you're a man who love to be bust down in the bedroom, get bust down, baby. It's time to like literally trivialize these type of things because they've taken up too much time in like the master part of the curriculum. Like we're mastering in foolishness and then minoring in the shit we should be mastering in.
Hello.
Anywho, anything you want to say before I press play again?
Yes, and basically to sum all that up, just learn to love your damn self. Like I know there was some comments that were on the screen talking about preferences, and no shade. If you have a preference for something, that is okay too. Again, not everybody gonna like using the analogy of ice cream. There are so many different flavors, so many different brands, new shit coming out. They experiment with stuff, so there's newness in that. So if you only like vanilla, stick with vanilla, but don't sit here and judge somebody else if they like chocolate or like chocolate chip cookie dough or Oreo. Don't judge them for that. That's the problem. So it was kind of like if people could just learn to love themselves and realize that another person living their life is not taking away from me, then you will actually get what God has for you. Because if you end up being so caught up in what the fuck somebody else doing and you're not even objectively helping them, then you're going to feel some type of way when your blessing comes through and you fuck it up when you should have been focused on your own shit. And now we here. Thank you. But you can press play. Go ahead.
I know one woman who loved the fuck out of her queer king. My baby mother king goddess. Baby. I didn't even look at my phone. God bless.
I'm tap into that type of blessing.
Hey, baby mother king gave me back due child support, baby. We talking hundreds with the plural.
She said she loved pegging her king, bitch. Okay.
Shout out to my baby mother king. If you are in the building, my God, today, and Lord knows we need this for Pacer, baby. We got a $300 Pacer bill. To pay. Shout out to my baby mother Kim for assist with Pacer. I appreciate you. I appreciate you too, baby mother. Thank you, baby mother. My God, I love you.
Yes. Come through.
Okay, back to Miss Nene, child. That done made my day. That done made my day.
Just the beginning, bitch.
Yes.
If you've dated men, there's a possibility in your life that
he's been with a man.
He's been with something.
What do you mean he's been with something?
He's been outside. I mean, here's the thing. I know that women consider trans women men because we were born male. Mm-hmm. But there's a difference between being man and male.
I get it. But you have your part.
That's correct.
So he can love you and think you're so beautiful. And I want to sit with you.
There are men who deal with me that won't touch my parts. Anytime you see
But does he know it's there?
Yeah, he knows it's there. I'm not hiding it.
Oh, you're not?
No.
I mean, that wouldn't make any sense.
Well, I've had gentlemen to tell me, hey, put a pillow over that. And I'm like, well, you're not the nigga for me. You don't have to touch it and deal with it, but I'm not hiding shit from you.
So, okay, wait a minute. We got to go back and figure this out.
Yeah.
And even though there's a conversation going on social media about Nene being transphobic, I don't feel like Nene is transphobic more so than she's just ignorant and uneducated about certain things. But you can literally hear her innocence in this whole conversation. Like, what she don't know, she don't know. She's open to listening to the feedback. She's got questions. She don't mind. Okay, let's revisit. I want to figure this thing out, baby. Okay, you saying 1 + 1 = 2, baby. Okay, let's do that equation again. Let's go back over this one more time. Okay, I love all of this. I feel like as a community, we're so hard edged up on people needing to know, no, as if knowingness falls out of the sky. No, knowingness comes through conversation and engagement with communities. It comes through exchange. It comes through open. Like, of course, straight folk don't know what the fuck we talking about. Hell, for a time, we didn't know what the fuck none of this was either. We had to learn it. So, I'm okay with the ignorance that comes via learning. It's the forfeiting of information and knowledge. That's the problem. It's the I ain't interested in being educated. That's the issue. See, I can deal with it in Nene Leakes all day. I can deal with asking a motherfucker. Baby, ask me until you're blue in the face, baby. That's right, baby. Let's figure this thing out, baby. Let's go through this by and by, through and through. But I got a problem with that, baby. I love all that. I think it's adorable. I think when people are really trying to figure this thing out, that is really adorable and it's admirable. And we need to cheerlead you know, people on and our allies on, and just people in general who literally just don't know. It's not that they are harmful. It's not that they want bad for LGBT folk, or, you know, but that they're just ignorant. This has never been a thing. It's never been a conversation piece, and you know, people got to act in order to get to the golden calf.
Now let's learn. Hopefully,
touch
apply.
it with it, but I'm not hiding shit from you.
So, okay, wait a minute. We got to go back and figure this out.
Yeah.
So the man.
Now we talking.
Yeah, so the man going to be sleeping with me and you. I don't want to talk to him no more.
You don't?
Okay,
No.
nah.
Because, see,
Okay, let me listen.
he's not telling me the truth. 9
Well,
times out
what
of
truth
10,
does he need to
like,
tell
what
you,
the-
Nene? Tell
well, the guy seemed like he would come and tell me that he's bisexual. So what if he?
But you didn't say that, Nene. What you said is that if he gonna be dealing with you, I don't want him. You ain't said nothing about him being dishonest. That's a separate statement. What you said up in there was prejudice as fuck, which might be rooted in ignorance, you know. But I know, you know, they only had a certain amount of time to talk. They couldn't be on set all day. You can't get everything in a conversation like this. But let's rewind that back one more time. Because I'm going to be honest, I kind of like cringed for TS when Nene said that, because it was so like off-putting. It was like, oh, it's dirty. Like it's dirty.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's other. It's I don't.
Right.
I was like,
but that's what I was saying earlier in the conversation about how queer people always try to come through with the education. See how she was like, you know, very prompt in the yep, girl, let's talk about it. Yes, it's this, and like having that conversation. Yep. Like we still do that, but there's still that slight of like, okay, but like do that shit over there. That's the problem and the issue. But yet, when y'all need help, phone's ringing.
There's another.
Broke it down.
If your issue is infidelity, that's the way you have to frame it. I don't want to be with untrustworthy men. That is a different statement than I don't want to be with bisexual men. And if the statement is I don't want to be with bisexual men, I would encourage folks to do the work on that. What does that mean? Why would you not want to be with a bisexual man? Like, what does that exactly mean? What in your head do you imagine is a bisexual man? What is inherently wrong with being bisexual? What is the issue with bisexuality? What is the issue with what people are attracted to? Because once again, and then you may figure out, oh, I think that bisexual men can't keep their dick in their pants. Okay, well, that's another layer of what you got to address. Because once again, bisexuality and infidelity are not synonymous to one another. Just like a heterosexual man can be faithful to you despite the fact that he's still attracted to a multitude of women of all shapes and sizes. You ain't worried about that, right? Because you believe he has the capacity to do what? To be committed to you, right? Okay, so then why make bisexual men something different than that?
Because I was ready for Mary, Susan, Barbara, and Jane. But the whole time it was Bill who was sleeping with my man. That's the thing. It's the issue of that. And to your point, let me ask you this question then. It's just a question, hypothetical, before you press play to let people kind of think on that. For the biological women in the church.
I got a feeling it's going to be a long panel tonight.
Yes, it is.
Go ahead.
That's why I got my snacks and shit. What would you rather, I'm sorry that was loud, but what would you rather prefer in this situation? A heterosexual man that you know is not faithful and going to cheat on you? Or a bisexual man who was honest about him being bisexual, but is being loyal and faithful to you? What would you choose?
You already know. I'm too damn long. I'm too logical.
It's pride.
I'm too logical.
Trump done run the country now.
I'm too logical.
I'm too
logical. I'm too rational. I'm too much.
Mama Pound Cake said, start a poll. Let's start a poll.
I'm too much of a clear thinking individual. Of course, we know what the fuck. I'm always going to choose the best person for me, which is certainly an honest, transparent, in touch motherfucker. I ain't gonna even say per se even faithful, because I'm open to polygamy and polyamory too. But see, that's all gonna come with the honesty part, because a nigga gonna be honest about that as well.
Hello.
About what he wants, what type of relationship he wants, what type of shit he into, etc. All that comes through transparency. And yes, I want all of that. Transparency. Yeah.
I'm looking at the chat.
Okay, let's press play because we only got a little bit of this conversation. Go ahead. And we can do a poll too. We can do a poll.
And I don't want to talk to him no more.
You don't have to touch it and deal with it, but I'm not hiding shit from you.
So, okay, wait a minute. We got to go back and figure this out.
Yeah.
So the man.
Now we talking.
Yeah, so the man going to be sleeping with me and you. I don't want to talk to him no more.
You don't?
No.
Because,
see, he's not telling me the truth. 9 times out of 10. The guy seemed like he would come and tell me that he's bisexual. So what if he never told me? Isn't he lying to me? You said they wake up and lie.
They do.
So
but just as she ran both of those things, like she made two unrelated things the same. And a lot of people do that. And I'm going to be honest, I'm going to go a step further. It's a lot of shit that y'all be calling preference that's actually prejudice. And I don't give a fuck if y'all would slap the term preference on it. It's prejudice. Some of y'all love that term preference because it allows you to glamorize being a prejudiced motherfucker. It's a way to dress your prejudice up as something that is socially acceptable through the labeling of preference. It's not. Now, there is a such thing as preference, but when you make your preference about like people's inherent humanity, that's prejudice. A preference is, oh, I hope he likes country and R&B like me. Not, he gotta be straight, bitch. That's prejudice, honey. Okay? Oh, I hope he likes to shop and likes romantic movies and novels. Like, that's preference, sugar. Y'all done start bleeding and spilling over a lot of prejudice shit into the preference category. And y'all love the slip and slide feel of that shit. Because I know why y'all love that word preference, baby. Like, it's a nice little cloak. It got a nice little glamour spell on it. You know, preference is very... Don't get me started.
But how can we make men comfortable to even say that they find other things outside?
I don't know, but I feel like he should tell me what he likes.
But here's the thing. You might demonize him for telling.
I won't. I just probably won't be with him.
Yeah, that is correct. And then men risk they risk losing that. You know, there's some men that have experiences, just like there are women that have had an experience.
Well, why he can't do to me the same thing he doing to you?
Because I don't have a pussy.
But that's... Well, okay, you're right. I forgot. Okay.
I don't have pussy.
But he's coming over there looking at your beautiful hair and makeup.
Uh-huh.
Well, he can't come over my house and see mine.
Well, yeah.
Well, what's going on?
Well, shit.
Why the hell you going to sleep with me then going to sleep with you for?
Men like variety.
Oh, please. I don't want him.
Well, shit. I mean, hey, but it's happening.
I'm over it.
So would you not want him if he was also into white women? If he was also into Asian women? If he was also into obese women? If he was also into thotty women? If he was also into handicapped women? I mean, I don't... See, there's like this underlining dehumanizing of queer traits. That's what makes it weird and off-putting. Because y'all be trying y'all best to make bisexual people and or trans people and or trans attracted people aliens, while still also trying to articulate them as people. Y'all keep trying to marry oil and water together. And there's a lot of people that let y'all get away with that. There's a lot of people who act like that's what y'all don't do. There's a lot of people that find that to be like comfortably in the middle, if y'all at least attempt to humanize it. No, I'm just gonna call it right on out. It's prejudice, ignorant foolishness. It's dehumanizing, disqualifying men just because they also are attracted to men as well as attracted to women. It's weird because we don't do that for women. We don't do that to bisexual women at all. You see that there's a great capacity for men to value bisexual as females. Great capacity. Large, sometimes even a part of their preference. They don't mind a woman who's also into women as well. But we don't really want to talk about it. See, there's a certain level of transparency that this society is just not ready for. They're not really ready to accept the sheer ugliness of their psychology and the sheer ugliness of their mentality. Instead, they just put all this energy into trying to dress the shit up to make themselves feel better about their ugliness. They just rather continue to slap perfume and cologne all over their ugliness and their dehumanization than to just admit that that is what it is, boo. I got some work to do. I got some other work to do, bitch. I'm toe up. Yeah. Just admitting, bitch. Toe up in the mind. Toe up. Yeah. Toe up. You're right. Nope. Gonna continue to Febreze that funk.
Things,
That's why I'm not even dating. I mean, I'm dating, but I'm not. I mean, I don't know.
You can't hold yourself to a dating standard because you're afraid of a man. That's not the worst.
So you think it's okay for me to sleep with a guy that's sleeping like that?
Well, if he's sleeping,
having sex like that,
I don't know. I don't know. I think that if he's bisexual, but here's the myth about bisexuality.
Do you think I should be taking PrEP? It's a concept.
Yes. I think that all women should be taking PrEP.
Really?
Yes.
Because the French.
Yes, really, Nene. I mean, unless women are immune to HIV, unless HIV is a gay disease,
why they get the actual stats of black
why
women?
Should you not?
They didn't want to have the highest rates of HIV, unfortunately.
Why should you not be taking PrEP?
Why you not fucking with a condom on? But okay.
See, STIs and STDs don't discriminate the way that y'all preferences do. So, yeah, you should be taking PrEP, my love. Black women are the leading carriers of HIV. And the sad gag about that is, it means that y'all also are all sleeping with the same niggas. The trans attracted niggas, the bisexual niggas, the poly niggas, the polygamy niggas. Y'all already on top of the same niggas.
And then on top of that, T.S. Madison, the individual who transformed her life, regardless of what hoes say, she continues to rise. In her days when she was doing what she was doing, this was a reality. It was a lot of, no shade, motherfuckers y'all know that was going to her. To the point to where she was so smart about how these niggas were so horny that she made millions of dollars off of it. Willingly, because these people signed their names on the line and gave her their fucking ID so that it's all the way legal. And now all of a sudden, now that your pastor done found out, your baby mama done found out, all these people done found out, now you want her to take the video down. No, if you start thinking with this, more so with this, then you wouldn't be in the situation that you in.
Tamara says it's offensive to call cis women ignorant and not open-minded just because we prefer. What's ignorant is you using the term we when there are natural-born women in the chat who have said that they actually prefer feminine men, bisexual men. See, the problem about these conversations is that some of you who attempt to be gatekeepers be using we when there is no we. Women's community is not a monolith. There are women in the chat who've been expressing this whole chat that they don't mind a bisexual man, they want a bisexual man, they prefer so there's no we. There's just a certain segment of the community that's ignorant, like I said, and who's not. There are women who've done the work There are women who have decolonized their brains, who have freed themselves, who are healthy, grounded, and humane in their psychology and in their worldview. And then there are women who are still plugged into the matrix. The same thing goes for the self-hating ass gays, the self-hating ass trans, the dehumanizing ass men. They're just those who are plugged into the matrix and those who are not plugged into the matrix. And, you know, we've had this conversation a trillion times. Every time I open up the panel and I begin to ask women, okay, sugar, why are you willing to continue to be alone and dissolve bisexual men of being qualified as a romantic partner? And all I hear is fucking crickets. There's not one substantive, articulated point being made. And you know why? It's because your prejudice is just a side effect of social conditioning that's been normalized into your life since you've been a child. And that's why you can't even really see it as a prejudice. Your prejudice has been normalized. Your bigotry has been normalized. Why would you reduce a whole qualified man to his orientation? Why would that be the deal breaker? That would be more of a deal breaker for most women than him having several other baby mamas and bad credit and a missing side tooth.
Because at least he ain't gay.
And then the whole at least he ain't gay.
Because my man.
When women are given the capacity to have gay experiences and gay phases while still being straight identified women. But men are not given the same liberty of having sucked a few dicks to put a verified check mark on his heterosexuality. Ain't y'all the same ones when it comes to gay folk who say, don't knock it till you try? Well, there's straight men who had to knock their head up against a few dicks in order to know that that ain't what they T is, or what they T is, or what they sometimes. But I don't understand what the actual problem is and why people are being reduced to just that. I'm sorry. A good man is a good man, Savannah. A good man is that way. A good woman. A good woman is a good woman. A good, you know, and it's just as shallow as these like preferences that you see in the red pill community of men disqualifying women because they have been married before, or because they have children, or because they got a little fupa on them, or because it's like, are y'all stupid? Like, are you dumb?
Meanwhile, they be over there looking like they in their damn 7th trimester with no hairlines.
Like, it's, you know what's so funny to me is that people can't actually, they can't even feel the ugliness of their thinking. That's how one they are with it. It's so weird. And just like listening to how casual people are in their foolishness. Like they don't, like, there's no bells going off or nothing. Did you really just say that? Do you really think that way? Like,
the system is doing its job. The Matrix is doing its job.
Right. Yikes.
I told me she's taking it.
Tamar.
Yeah.
Yeah. She told me too. I think that all women should be taking PrEP. I think that all women should take whatever necessary safety precautions, whether the man identifies as heterosexual, bisexual, homosexual, pansexual. I think that all women should be taking.
I am going to call you prejudice a glory, and I did. I'm not missing no words on this panel today. Now, you have the right to identify as a non-bigoted woman, but I'm identifying it as a prejudice. And the only reason you don't think it's prejudice is because you've been raised to be a homophobic, bi-queer-phobic motherfucker your entire life. Just like a lot of racist people don't think they're racist. Sexist people don't think they're sexist. Nobody who is what they are never thinks that they are that thing. This is across the board with people. So I'm clear about the fact that no prejudiced people walk around self-knowing that they are prejudiced. No prejudiced people have the integrity and the heart and have done the work to self-identify as a prejudiced motherfucker. Everybody who is prejudiced identifies as a non-prejudiced and will argue you till you are blue in the face that they are not prejudiced. I don't care what you say you aren't. You are. Your beliefs and your psychology is what makes it that. And you can feel, just because you feel good about your prejudice don't mean you aren't prejudiced. Just because you feel good about your racism doesn't mean you aren't racist. Just because you feel good about your sexism doesn't mean you're not sexist. Yes, y'all. And it doesn't even make you evil. It just makes you ignorant as hell. Now, it'll make you evil upon the fact that there's something wrong with your dehumanizing, anti-human ass rhetoric. And to not do that work and to explore that justifies all the other groups that have anti-feelings about other groups, whether it's xenophobia, whether it's racism, whether it's everything else, because, you know, also that's funny to me too, Bubs, is that all this cherry picking that we do. People love being bigoted and prejudiced when it comes to sexuality. But none of these people want to live in a world where men can continue to be sexist or where systems are allowed to be systemically oppressive based upon color, creed, or class. So we also see the way that y'all cherry pick through the utopia y'all envision. You don't want anyone dehumanizing the fuck out of you, but it's okay to hold inherently dehumanizing, anti-human ass beliefs about other people. And just because you don't want to admit to that, that's all that it makes you, is a person who just can't admit to that. And it is what it is.
But I think that's why these conversations are important for those, especially who want to have it. Because again, for me, the way that I internalize people saying preference is like this. Again, if you prefer one thing over the other, that's okay. But it's not like demonizing the other aspect or creating or continuing a narrative that demonizes other things. Now, if you're a person that is not bigoted, or you're a person that understands duality and you know what you like, okay then. So when you start seeing injustice or inequality happening, then it's also your responsibility to do something about it, since we also know what we like, but also can respect other people as well. That's the only thing that I'm saying. And unfortunately, when you listen to Nene, again, I don't believe that she is trying to be transphobic. To CTV's point, she is just ignorant. But the fact that there's so much information out here and we're still having these same conversations, we need to really get down to the root of it, because we keep dealing with the branches, we keep dealing with these symptoms. No, there's a root problem here, and people are afraid to go there. And instead of cherry picking, let's go through the whole book. Because when we cherry pick, we try to find ways to remove ourselves from the situation. At this point, with the age of Aquarius, baby, you got to prove and show that. And we see, again, who is proven and who is not. So again, like what you like, but don't demonize other people for what it is that they like. Just be grateful and say, I'm glad that you like it so that I don't have to. And honor them in that. Don't try to take away their rights. Don't try to control their narrative. Don't sit up here and try to use your children as a shield. The ultimate shield, the ultimate cloak of cloaks, girl, to not deal with something. Even though when y'all was younger, y'all also dealt with queerphobia or gave queerphobia as well. Because guess what? Y'all was indoctrinated in that in birth. All the way up. Hello. I think someone said in the chat about how we all came to this system broken. Yes, we were broken by ignorant ass people who did not love themselves, who were not healed, whole, aligned, and complete, and only believed in surviving. And now you have generations that actually want to heal that. Not just talk about the manifestation of the hope, dream of the slave, but actually manifest it. And y'all be fighting against that actual inclusion, but yet you want to be included when we talk about the realm of racism. So again, we're going to have to do some internal work. But that's where the real work is, and that's why those forces out there don't want us to do what we're doing right now. They rather have us confused and arguing with each other. You can like what you like, but don't demonize your brother or sister for liking what they like. Point blank, period. Now, if you do that, you cool. But if you want some other type of shit, then yes, especially during Pride Month, there will be extra smoke, bitch. It will be glitter add to it as well. And some lube. You ready? Let's go.
Necessary precautions, because men when women say that men are a creature of curiosity, they're a creature of if that dick get hard, they gonna fuck it.
Really?
And what T.S. Madison is talking about is not true for just men. It's true for people, period. I remember Iyanla had to have a conversation with, I think she was doing like one of those like safe haven women spaces episodes. And she had to tell the women, she said, look, you're going to be doing some deep work here. And it, you know, we're going to be opening up the heart chakra and we're going to be moving into some depth here. You may want to put your titty in your sister's mouth. I'm just going to make you aware, okay, that there may be affections and feelings and urges that come to light as we create this safe space, baby. Your pussy might go in your sister's mouth, okay? I just got to put that disclaimer there, okay? So I want y'all to be mindful, baby, okay? This heart work may open you up to things. The forces and spaces and crevices in your being, in your soul, that you have never known
again, bitch.
Okay, and I understand exactly what Iyanla is saying, because, you know, going back to the earlier part of this conversation, when I talked about how my own sexuality, my own sexual attractions and romantic attractions have evolved and advanced, it's because that is happening because I'm moving into deeper depths of God's love. And as I move into deeper depths of God's love, and when I'm talking about God, I mean, I'm talking about literally like God is synonymous to whatever the fuck we're calling love, whatever that is in its totality, whatever that is in its sincerity, whatever that is without pollution of the ego and without the pollution of our pain body and our indoctrination, whatever, like cold press, raw, cosmic, universal love is what I'm calling God. And as I move into relationship to that, my capacity to be attracted to other humans also opens up and becomes just as all-encompassing as love literally is. When we say that, oh, everybody is God's children. Yeah. When you're moving in what love actually is, I think we can see from the chat, most people actually are moving in lust and calling it love. That's why they have limitations and preferences and all of that shit. I think, I'm glad we tapped on that actually too. The way that y'all don't differentiate lust and love, and the way y'all be slandering the fuck out of love when you really be head first into some lust shit. Yeah, lust is pretty much the social construct of love. It's the limited counterfeit. And that are 50 trillion damn limitations, 50 goddamn trillion, not what the word I'm looking for, not just limitations.
Interpretations?
Not interpretation either, but any motherfucking way. The difference between lust and love. I'm moving so deep into this love thing, bubs, that I'm actually able to look back. I'll be 40 this year. I'm able to look back and actually be attracted to people I was not attracted to when I was 25, when I was 28. when I was 30 years old, because I'm in a different place in consciousness at this age. And the results of that work are reflected in my ability to what I like to call like value human beings for all the right reasons. Because a lot of times we can value people for all the wrong reasons, but valuing them for the right reasons. At this stage of my life, your character can turn me on. It can make my dick hard. Yeah. Your creative capacity can make my dick hard. How you show up for your community can make my dick hard. Like, and these qualities can transcend what the eyes see.
Right.
What the eyes see. You may have a non-fit body, but you show up like a god motherfucker. At that point, almost sex don't matter either, bitch. I'll eat that puss to the ground.
Oh Lord.
Let me tell you, when I see the God glowing through,
you got to start to chew.
When the God starts to glow through, baby, I'm attracted to God.
Okay.
So when people, when adults can show up in the strength of that, in the personification of that, yeah. With the work I've done at this point in my life, I can also see past things that I would not have been able to see past, like gender. And I love that for me. I love that. That's why I've been able to have sexual experiences with women over the past 3-4 years. I've been able to explore my orientation in that way. And I'm looking forward to continuing to take more deep dives into my brain and into my consciousness. And, you know, because I really want to see people the way that God sees people. I want to love people the way that love loves people. I want it to be about people. I don't want it to be about people's bank accounts or their body type or their skin tone or their height or their accomplishments and goofy, meaningless shit that we've allowed to inform our preferences, because we're really operating in lust and not actual love.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Now that was the end of their conversation. Let's get into some of the clap back, then we can drop the link and all of that good jazz. So there's been some backlash to T.S. Madison's conversation. The Jasmine Brand captioned T.S. Madison responds to backlash over dating preferences during Nene Leakes' interview. Quote, "This is a difficult conversation." So T.S. Madison responded to her Instagram and her Twitter with this. She says, "Here are some hard facts. Let's discuss. 1. If you are a female that's dated multiple men in your life, it is a possibility that one of those men have experienced something you deem gay. 2, trans women are desirable to men who identify as straight as well. 3, men who identify as gay do not date or desire trans women. 4, sexual orientation are gay, lesbian, bisexual, pansexual. 5, identities are trans, queer, non-binary, gender, non-conforming. 6, male and man are different constructs. Female and woman are different constructs. Lastly, PrEP is so needed in all of our communities, not just LGBTQ. Black women, please talk to your PCP about PrEP. And thank you to Nene Leakes for having me on your show. This is a difficult conversation for a lot of people. Thanks for having fun with me. All right. Then over on Mr. Housewives, there was a compilation put together of apparently viewers who are accusing Nene Leakes of transphobia after being disgusted by straight men being intimate with trans women, and claims it's why she doesn't date. Let's get into some of that feedback. Okay, one user says, "Transphobia 101. This is why people say these women our allies." Okay, these were criticisms of Nene Leakes. Another user had added T.S. Madison, literally the most patient woman on earth, Nene being the rudest, nastiest, transphobe, and T.S. is holding it down. One user says, to sit there and say this directly to a trans woman and then argue with her, Nene, count your days. Another person says, I would have smacked the fire out of Nene's mouth for saying, if he's sleeping with you, then I don't want to sleep with him. She too old to be acting like that. Someone else says, realizing how transphobic Nene is actually isn't all that shocking. You have a beautiful trans woman trying to explain this to you on a kindergarten level, and you only want to respond with disrespect and transphobia. Another one says, I'm disgusted at this transphobic behavior. She spoke as if trans people are beneath her. It's crazy. Are not our allies. We shouldn't shrink ourselves to be in spaces with them because of who they are. I don't give up who you are. Someone else says TS was too nice. Honestly, folks be homophobic and transphobic, trying to package it up as now. Wasn't I just saying that? Trying to package it up as preference. Girl, you live in Atlanta. T.S. Madison definitely wasn't far off from the truth. Another one says this interview was so disrespectful to Ms. T.S. How do you invite a trans woman on your show and not do your research? Someone else says she's so patient. I would have said girl up you by second 20. Someone else says she's so kind because this was so mean and blatantly transphobic. Wow, Nene barely kept the loud part quiet. You think trans women are beneath you so much so any man that deals with them is tainted. Another one says this could have been such a genuine learning moment in there. She's being weird, like the penny almost dropped with her, but she's too dense. Someone else says this is ignorant but unsurprising. Unfortunately, a lot of women have this mentality. Another person says, why Madison not cussing her out like she's basically telling her she finds her nasty, and Amanda doesn't find her disgusting is nasty too. Yikes. Someone else says, everything Nene said is cringy as fuck, and I love her down, but what the F? LOL. A lot of straight women appear to be an ally, but really are not. What a compilation, okay? Then T.S. Madison responded to the backlash that Nene is getting, courtesy of the Jasmine brand. T.S. Madison said this in response to Caddy, who says, Nene Leakes not wanting to be with a man who's not Hello Kitty exclusive does not make her transphobic. Am I missing something? She was talking to a friend, T.S., and being herself. I think y'all doing way too much. T.S. responded to that and says, I don't think she's transphobic. Some of her beliefs may be because of a time period of ideology. I myself have said and had transphobic ideas, learn better and move better. Now, what's interesting about what T.S. Madison said is that she pretty much called it transphobic when she deferred to herself as in the past have been transphobic, etc. And I think it's okay. So I think that one of the distinctions we can make is, like, I'm okay with the idea that people can talk transphobic, think transphobic, or think homophobic. Hold on, let me be careful when I say this. People can think things that are inherently transphobic or queerphobic without being homophobic or transphobic. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like they can have the ideology of it, but not act upon that ideology, or willing to like even evolve in that type of ideology. Is that what you're saying?
Okay, so I'm glad you said that. So let me nuance it then.
Yes, please.
Because by that, I mean literal, like the innocence of ignorance. Like when it's literally just a matter of ignorance, not a matter of like prejudice.
It's like I don't know, like that.
Yeah, like I don't know, like like some people may not know that the TRANNY word is outdated. So they might say that. Right. They didn't know. Oh, I didn't know. You know, like I don't have no problem with transphobe. Or somebody in a queer space may use the FAG word and mean it as a term of endearment. You know, oh, okay, I didn't know. You know that wasn't okay to do. You know, like there's things that are like rooted in just ignorance. It's not evil. It's just ignorant, and that's okay. You didn't know. We have the conversation. We move on. Fine. So And I'm also of the belief that you can hold queer phobic beliefs without being inherently harmful. And I always use my grandmother as an example of that. Like, my grandmother is a Bible-toting Baptist Southern card-carrying church mother.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came out to her when I was a teenager, she said, I know what the Bible says, but you're my grandson and I want you to be happy. And, I love you. And then after that, she made conscious choices without me asking to inquire about my partners. She was open to meeting my partners and for me bringing my partners to dinners, etc.
Right.
And she didn't have to give up her Christian beliefs in order to make space for my humanity. She was able to she chose to do both. She chose to hold to her beliefs, but also honor my humanity and not treat me any differently just because of what
walk out her truth without just talking about it. Like, she actually walked it out, what she believed, as far as the love aspect of it.
Well, the beautiful thing about it is that she allowed her belief to literally be that, a fucking belief. Her love was going to be in action. Her belief
That's what
was
I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as her being a Christian, as far as Christ's love, as far as, like, again, I know what the Bible says, but I'm not going to interpret it through that lens. I know who you are. I honor your humanity. I know that you're full of love, and I'm going to treat you as such. And because she loves you so much, she's willing to actively be like, you know what, let me educate myself. Let me kind of face my own fears. So what's your partner's name again? Like really, like my parents, my father, for example. My father was the one that I was so afraid of telling that I was gay. That I was gay. He was the last person to know. And when he found out, he gave me the whole, you're my son, I still love you, but he still has some internal work to deal with. And I'm so grateful now to where he's completely changed. Even Mother Maddie, as far as T.S. Madison's mom, the same thing that she went through, that whole transformation of, I know what God says and what I believe. But again, she walked out, she carried that cross that Christ talked about picking up and carrying, as far as, and follow me, follow love, not society, but follow me, as far as humanity for your for your fellow brother, fellow sister, to where now she's able to honor her daughter, even found ways, again, like you said, to hold on to her faith, but hold on to her daughter and let that love be that bridge there. And she's reaping the rewards of that. And I like to see, and I want to see more Black parents love and affirm their parents. But unfortunately, we see where a lot of us in the community are, because when you have people like Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union, affirming their trans daughter, first thing we want to do
and Marlon Wayans.
Yeah, the first thing we want to do is run to the local motherfucking neighborhood crackheads and actual death dealers, girl, like Bootsy and fucking Charleston White, goddamn ICP, short butts, his ass broken head, a light bulb head ass girl. We run to them for all this information and nuance, and it's like, girl, if we doing that, something wrong with us. We poisonous. If we just drinking the poison from the people and allowing them to do it. Again, look at Dr. Umar Johnson. How long has it been that we ain't had this damn school pimping? Do you see what I'm saying here? Like, there's so much that we can deal with. But what I'm thinking is this: for the people who want to have a conversation, because like CTV said, this is end games. This is it. For the people that want to learn, this information is here for y'all. For the people that are fear-based, I just hope that when the reality hits, you find a way to survive it. Because there's a lot of this going on, but now the action is going to come forth. And Donald Trump is the fucking conduit for that to happen. Look at what's going on. So at this point, if we're going to make a change, just make a real change. Because if not, we're completing this cycle, and then you want to bring your children, the next generation, into this. Shouldn't your children be better than you, smarter than you, more aware than you? These are the same people who sit up here and say, well, when I had my child or whatever, they didn't know if they wanted pineapples and they don't know if they wanted pizza, but they know the phone better than you, and you've been here longer. Make that make sense. But anyway, go ahead.
And we're going to get to comments, and we're going to be dropping the link, because I know that a lot of y'all's queerphobia and transphobia is ready to occupy the microphone.
Amen. I got to pee in a minute, bitch. Pinky got to go pee-pee.
Do you want me to, are you able to hear this? You can run to the, if you need to run to the bathroom, you can.
Yeah, I'm going to use my other phone to still listen, but go ahead.
Okay. So the Shade Room also posted a compilation of like different responses to the conversation. One user says, it's not wrong for needing to prefer a man that's not pansexual or bisexual. The problem is, quote, well, I don't want to sleep with a man if he sleeps with you. That you is very nasty. And it lets us know that she doesn't view trans women as women, side eye. And I'm going to add, she doesn't view trans attracted men as faithful or straight or having a genuine attraction to women. The user goes on to say, when it comes to attraction of, hold on, I don't know what she's saying. Shit, people are so warped in. Okay, people are so wrapped in the coochies and the pings when attraction is so much deeper than genitalia. Another user says, and a ninja like me would ask, quote, so what's wrong with me that a ninja can't sleep with me and then sleep with you? What exactly does that do to the ninja? They go on to say, here come all the homophobic and trans women, and this is why y'all boyfriends and husbands stay in the closet. This exact mindset. I think he meant transphobic women. Another user says, I think Nene came from a genuine place. They can agree to disagree. I didn't see this as insulting. Another user says, I find it amazing that you all have a problem with everyone's preference that doesn't affect you. All a person cannot understand or desire something and still champion and support it. I'm not a gay man. I'm a gay man that wants a man. Doesn't mean I don't like or support or champion trans people. They are just trying to get understanding. There's no books on it. Honestly, the ideas and people's thoughts on it changes all the time. So I do not fault cis straight women for not understanding. There's many people in the gay community that still don't understand. Another user says, this look was everything I thought in my head while watching this. Hotep priestess, oh God, baby. Hotep women are some of the worst human beings I've ever met in my entire life. But maybe this is a woke one. I think they go on to define everything. Sex is male and female. Gender is man, mask, woman, femme, which are different than a male, man. Dating, sleeping with a transgender woman whose sex is also male means that the sexuality of both parties would be anything but hetero, which of course we don't agree with. We're going to be dropping a link. I'm going to let you can continue to sound off.
I mean,
if you have things. I dropped the link, everyone. Anybody, if you pro conversation, anti whatever, you got questions, I'm at child. And yes, we will be responding to all things, child. Yes.
But again, if you're going to come up on this panel, my goal, and I do this all the time, so I understand some of what you mean, because I've done it on the panels. It'd be like, girl, please come up here with an open mind. I'm not saying that if you agree with us, now you got to give up your booty hole. Ain't nobody saying that, because a lot of you niggas don't even wipe. So, because it's going to be much I'm going to learn. Ain't just, some niggas fuck hoes. I think about it a few times. But my thing is, hopefully it is a conversation that is a great one. You can still share your thoughts and your opinions and your perspectives, but let's get it. Oh, what's going on? Yes, I know who this is. Hey, what's going on?
What's going on, Demi?
All the spiritual people in the house tonight.
Hey, CTV, y'all know how to jump on this. I caught the middle of the live because I was making nephew for my sister. She was trying to get some extra hours in. So by the time I caught y'all was already knee deep. I was like, oh, I already know what this is about. As soon as I saw the thumbnail, I'm like, I got to be in on this.
Yes, please, yes. Glad to have you here. Come through, yes.
Thank you so much for having me. Okay, so I'm gonna give y'all this quick little tea, then I'm gonna jump right on into it. So I just recently, probably like 2.5 weeks ago, I saw Nene at a place called Miss Ruby's Peach Cobbler in Buckhead.
Oh,
right. So I had ran into another coworker that I used to work with at Homeland Security. She was in there. She was like, "Oh, I haven't seen you. What's going on? We catching up." And so, me, I'm prior military. I'm always looking at the door, thinking some shit's gonna happen. That's just unfortunately one of the things, PTSD and shit. Yeah. So I look and I'm like, "Is that Nene about to walk in here?" She had all blonde hair, dress, and all of that stuff. And old girl didn't know that Nene doesn't like taking pictures. I been knew this. I don't be trying to celebrities, too much pedals and stuff. I gonna went through my phase in my 20s while I was chasing the hip hop hoochie girls, trying to, you know, be girl. Once you over 30, I'm like, girl, fuck these bitches. I don't care. No, like really, and then half of them, and y'all can agree that nasty personalities, like behind the scenes and stuff. So about Nene, this and the other. Me, I'm still gonna speak, bitch. I don't give a fuck. I'm like, if I know or recognize, I'm going to speak. So when she walked in, it wasn't like I made a huge thing about it because it wasn't that. And half of the people in there was older than her. I was like, hey, she gave very much, hey, how you doing? It gave very much real rich, you know.
Yes.
You know, like also like want to be bothered, but I still spoke.
Yes.
So, old girl tried to take a picture with her. I was like, oh, I meant to tell her not to ask her for that, but she found out. And he was like, oh, I don't take pictures and stuff. I'm like, girl, you don't be watching the tabloids, the blogs and stuff. That girl don't like taking pictures. She got into an argument with someone, I think like way before, like maybe before the pandemic or during the pandemic. Tried to take a picture with her, and then they actually got into a physical verbal.
Oh, wow.
And I was just like, oh. But again, I'm not a celebrity, so maybe you are tired, maybe you are, you know, just don't want to. I'm like, well, listen, I'm of the same mindset as Super Scent. If I'm a celebrity, bitch, no, y'all ain't gonna have no bad press about me. Bitch, we better take this picture, we better do this video, and we better hug it out. And girl, I'm gonna go back over to my corner. Like, that's just how I operate. But, you know, everybody's different. She could have been having a bad day. I don't know. But it just gave very much like, I don't want to be here. Like, I'm like, Tim, the girl. It's cute, though. But I had told my friends and stuff, and they were just like, yeah, she gives very much like her persona on TV is not who she is when you meet her in real life. Like, unless you're part of her, like her close group of friends or something. Doing these interviews. So I'm like, when I started looking at it like that, I'm like, you know what? Got it.
And that's actually like a lot of personalities. Like a lot of us have a persona. So like in real life, I am very reserved. I'm quiet. I'm meek. Like, you know, I'm not all tornado-y. I consider myself to be, you know, an introvert with extroverted tendencies or capabilities. So, you know, I do get that a lot of public figures in their like natural demeanor may contrast to you know, their public persona. Now, what do you think about this whole conversation around men and trans attractedness and straight women saying you're not straight if you're attracted to T.S. Madison, if you're attracted to Laverne, like, you know, we two different women and the man has to be gay or bisexual. How can he be straight?
Yes. So again, you know, I love me some T.S. Madison down. I've learned so much about the trans experience and the community from T.S. Madison. And the crazy part, a Black female, when I was in the military, I was stationed in Japan, who asked me during the Vine Day, she was like, have you heard of T.S. Madison? I'm like, no. She put me on it. I was like, oh, bitch, I love her. And so I finally got to meet her for the first time at Pride in Vegas in 2016.
Okay.
Attempted to Touch was the Pride thing.
Yeah.
So as it pertains to this situation, I'm just like, I literally feel like we're beating a dead horse. It's like a lot of us who are of a higher consciousness and can see, hey, we're not invalidating biological women's experience. We're not validating what they're saying. We're literally trying to let you guys know T.S. Madison and any one of the trans experience presents as a woman. You know, the social construct. We're not talking about the genetics and the genitalia. We're talking about the social construct of a woman. They present as a woman. I, as a gay man, am not attracted to a trans woman because I want a man. So when she says, hey, yeah, men that will find you, Nene, attractive can very well find me attractive because
absolutely.
Presenting as a woman, that's where it begins and like it presents as a woman, regardless of the genitalia that may be down there pre-op or post-op. They present as a woman, so it's literally in a straight man's mind. Until he gets her tea, he's looking at a woman. Like I like the fact that people are beating this dead horse, and you can tell who didn't pay attention. in fucking, English class and shit. I'm just like, these people.
Okay, so let me complicate it for you a little bit.
Okay.
Let me make it, I'm going to set the difficulty level on hard now.
All
so
right.
What do you say to the straight women who say, okay, fine. If it's a post-op trans woman, I can understand him still identifying as straight. But if she's a pre-op trans woman, if she's a transsexual and still has her hardware, and he down there slobbing on her knob, are you still going to tell me that he's heterosexual? You still going to tell me that that man isn't same gender loving?
My rebuttal to those women would be, you can't, again, y'all are still holding on to the genitalia. So, okay, pre-op still has a genitalia. Y'all like, no, that's still a man. Okay, that's how y'all want to think. Again, okay, cool. Post-op, it's been reassigned, done what they do down there, and it's emulating a vagina now. Y'all are now considering him straight. My rebuttal is, I'm like, the person that is trans post-op and pre-op still was born male. So it's like you guys are cherry picking again. It's like, no, unless it fully constructs to the woman construct that and my biological, until it's fully that is when I can truly accept it. Baby, you can't do that. Like, they're still born male. So how now, because they don't have their male appendages no more, can now stomach like, okay, he's straight now. The person was still born male. Like, I again, we're not gonna be in the bedroom with these people. Again, I don't even give a fuck about being in nobody else's bedroom. I'm not clocking nobody else's pussy mouth, boy pussy mouth, none
Let
of
me
it.
ask you a question. Would you say that same gender loving women who use strap-ons on each other are straight just because they may use the strap-on sexually on each other?
No, I wouldn't think they're straight. No, I feel
that's my only rebuttal. So then I don't understand why we don't keep that same energy when it comes to men who may have an oral fixation. There's one of my favorite adult film stars is King Noir. He's a straight identifying man. He has a wife. I think him and his wife has a polypolygamous relationship. He's also trans attracted. He just started doing a lot of trans adult content as well. And he also is known in his solo content to, rub the vibrator between his crack, and, he can ejaculate to the playful phallus in his mouth. And he talks about having like a oral fixation. Like he just has an oral fixation. Like that's one of his fetishes. However, he's not same gender loving. He's not bisexual. He's not sexually romantically attracted to males or to those who present as man. He's attracted to women and to trans women and has a unique oral fixation where he likes to suck on objects, and that turns him on. So whether that's a dildo, whether that's whatever, that gets his brain off for whatever reason. Now, I understand we live in a society that would still call that's gay. That's some gay shit. That man doing some gay shit. That man probably on the download. He probably denial. Whatever. It's like, yeah. But okay, since we're in the realm of possibilities, it's possible that it's just that, a oral fixation. Because I think that there's a difference between like sexual behavior and sexuality. Like you can for instance, technically, if you want to call anal sex gay sex, then there's a lot of women who are having gay sex because a lot of women like anal sex. A lot of women, like I got homegirls who can only orgasm to anal sex. They can't even orgasm to vaginal sex. I mean, are you going to call a woman who's into anal sex, gay? It's like gay sex? No. I mean, she's having anal sex with a partner of the opposite sex. And there are straight men who are into anal sex. I mean, if you want to call it gay sex, I mean, how can you call it gay when it's being done with members of the opposite sex or the opposite gender?
Yes, I never understood that correlation, how they keep putting it just as gay sex. I'm like, but his wife doing it. And then this is how I feel like God is a female and has a fucked up sense of humor. Why would you put a man's G-spot in his asshole? Why would you have that?
God has a sense of humor.
I don't know, but I'm gonna find out.
Right? Like, why would you do that?
Why would you do that? I'm going to meditate on that question with the creator tonight.
Yes, please.
Can you explain the mystery of the male G-spot?
I need to know why, because I'm like, half of them ain't watching it good.
A lot of women
Huh?
give their men a absent salt bath, okay, a good scrub down when they know that they're gonna get real interested in the bedroom, honey. Okay, they like dip that man, soak that man thoroughly, clean him up when they gonna be turning him every which way but loose.
But as Auntie
bedroom child,
his ass, get in there with it and submerge his ass. Apple cider vinegar, the Epsom salt,
water,
oils, something. Girl,
Clubs knows all about being painted. Okay, so let me get my girl. Hey, Demi, what's going on? I keep pronouncing your name wrong. Is Delia or Delia?
Delia.
I like to call you Aaliyah too. Okay, first of all, coming through with the 30-inch middle part bust.
You already know.
Can we just?
Don't put the spotlight on me.
Oh, yeah,
gorgeous.
Look, she loves coming and showing me up on my own shit, and I'm sick of it. She loves showing me up my own shit. Hi, Delia. I'm glad you're here, boo. So, first of all, I'm glad you're here because see, a lot of women were loud, but nobody want to hit the link. So I'm glad you up here as a card-carrying, natural-born woman. Please sound off on your thoughts across the board when it comes to this whole conversation and topic. I'm so interested to hear from you.
Yeah, I think what a lot of women don't realize, Black women in particular, is that there's a sense of trauma associated with our femininity and our womanhood. And because it's generational, we didn't have to personally experience it to still suffer the effects of it. So obviously back in the beginning of America, there were enslaved Black women. And a lot of the times what the slave owners would do to justify their rape of the women was to say that these are abnormally aggressive sexual prowesses of women. And so I couldn't control my urges because she had some otherworldly supernatural ability to make me attracted to her. And so from the very beginning, there was an effective effort to dehumanize Black women in their femininity. And that never really changed or evaporated in society. We've constantly had to prove that we are women. Even in the Black rights movement, the people that were supposed to be our allies, the Malcolm X's and the people that were associated, saw that white women were more feminine and soft and they were the prize, while Black women were just soldiers. And so now we're in 2025, Black women, not all Black women, because I know there'll be women in the comments saying that they are very confident and comfortable, they're not competing. But as a whole, there are so many Black women that are still not comfortable in their own femininity. We see that with Nene, we see that with, what's her name on the Breakfast Club?
Just hilarious.
Just hilarious. We see that with those women, especially women that don't fit the Eurocentric beauty standards. There's a more difficult urge to fight the idea that they're not as feminine as their counterparts. And something, I'm about to get personal, so I'm gonna have to turn off the cam for a minute. But at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the year, let me cam off. I was pregnant and I am no longer pregnant.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it was really tough, but it made me realize that my femininity is not tied to my ability to carry children. And if that's not something that I can do, it doesn't make me less of a woman. So when there are conversations like what Jess was having about the fact that she has this ability that trans women do not, or the fact that she, be able to have a menstrual cycle when all women cannot, it's so dangerous when that becomes the definition of womanhood and femininity, because it's not something that all women are able to do in their lifetime. And so it's a journey for each woman to understand what their femininity is. But once you get to that point, you won't be threatened by the idea that this other person exists in their womanhood, because you have something that is unique to you and something that cannot be taken from you.
Oh my God. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for sharing that. And I know that that is a very deep thing. I have women close to me who have experienced the same. And I know that's a heavy thing to unpack and unload. This is also why I be going so hard when it comes to that like gatekeeping conversation, and when like male and or female is reduced to genitals or these like anatomical characteristics like birth or menstrual cycling, because like humanity is not monolithic. We're not all equal. We're all the same, but we're not. I don't even know how the fuck I'm trying to word this, but we're different. Like we're not having. It's not universal across the board. You clearly have done a lot of work. You, to me, feel like the minority of the female community, and I'm assuming that that comes to a lot of education. Like you obviously have educated yourself deeply. You've done a lot of the work. You decolonized your brain. What do you say to women? Because I know that you spoke earlier about like there is a lot of trauma, and I agree. But how do we get like women to accept this? Like, why do you think that your peers find it so difficult to be vulnerable about that trauma, about the insecurities around the social conditioning of femininity and womanhood? And because women's community also ironically are kind of like known to be the more vulnerable sex comparative to men. So what do you like, what is, why are women struggling to address and see what you've just acknowledged, which is maybe a lot of cultural baggage that comes to this whole femininity thing and this whole womanhood and woman versus trans thing? Like how did you get here?
I think a lot of women, because we exist in a patriarchy, are still victims of the patriarchy, and they don't have a desire to break free. We are in a world that's dominated by men. Men set the tone, men set the social constructs. And so when men say a woman is this, there's so many women that want to conform. Even though we are constantly labeled, especially as Black women, when we're independent, we're strong, we're masculine, our energy is too much, we want to be alpha, when we're naturally that way. But when society says a woman is soft, a woman is a homemaker, a woman is a mother, a woman is this and that, and you don't fit into those social constructs, you envy those that can. Because Nene, though I think she's beautiful, she could have features that could be considered masculine. Jess Hilarious was misgendered as a trans woman. And those are personal attacks. Women take that very personally because they believe if I have the hair, if I've done the surgery, if I have the implants, then there should be no denying that I am a woman. You should see me as such. But the restraints that are on Black women are too tight, and you're going to hurt yourself, kill yourself trying to fit into those constraints. But we still, some of us still desire it because that's where we feel safe in society. It's so difficult to be the outlier and difficult to be the one that goes against the grain. It's so much easier to go with the crowd. And it's also this false sense of hope because they're saying, if you look like this, you are a woman. And then if someone else does the same thing, they should be considered a woman. But you feel like I had to fight for this label because for so long you did not see me as this. And now that I'm in the club, I don't want you to let everybody in the club. I want this to be exclusive. And there's so many women that still want to feel vindicated and accepted by the structure that never intended for them to fit in. And it has to be a personal journey. You have to be confident and comfortable in your womanhood and your femininity enough to not care about those things. But as long as we live in a society that will uplift those social constructs, there will still be women fighting to be in that part of the number.
Do you think that some of those stipulations of femininity and woman and female, because it's also attached to being chosen and being desirable by men, plays a big role too into women, holding on to these tropes?
Absolutely. But I think it's interesting that women can find men attractive, but they are confused as to men finding men attractive, though a trans woman is technically a woman. The idea that I should be attracted to this thing, but you should not be attracted to this thing.
Right.
Or I present this way, but if someone else presents that same way, they shouldn't be desirable to you. I think that they're playing themselves in their understanding. And that's why there was so much discourse in the comments, because there's a lack of understanding generally that what presents is not necessarily what we are automatically attracted to, which is why cis is such an important term and why bi is such an important term, because it's explaining the complexities and the nuances in society that we don't ever dive into.
Okay, I have another question. So in your womanhood, where does your relationship to like masculinity come into play at? Like that, what do you feel you have any masculine tendencies, whether that's emotionally, mentally, sexually, whatever? And do you integrate those qualities? Are you at a place of acceptance, or like, because I know that there's a lot going on in our society when it comes to like women being dragged for tapping into their masculinity, the way that men are obviously being dragged too for tapping into their femininity. Like we kind of see that pendulum swinging from left to right. But what is your relationship to that?
Right. I'm the oldest daughter of 7. So I've always been heavy in my masculinity, because I felt like if it needed to get done, I was going to be the one to get it done. So I've always had this attitude that I'm running the house, that I'm making the rules, that everyone's listening to me. And that's never translated into my relationships for some reason. I guess I always tend to attract men that are more masculine than me. Thankfully, I'm engaged now to a Jamaican man. And so he definitely doesn't, thank you. He does not allow too much of that alpha energy from me. And I feel like I'm in a place where I acquiesce. So when he's telling me this is how things are going to go, I'm comfortable enough with him to be like, okay. But for the most part of my life, I've had to be dominating because I needed to protect myself and I needed to get things done because I knew no one was looking out for me the way I was. But in my new journey of life, I've definitely been resting in my femininity more. Yeah. So it's new for me. I haven't had that before.
No. Wow. Powerful. Okay. Last but not least, before I get to Casey, and it's okay if you can't like speak to this now, but when it comes to birth, are you open? Like, are you still open to that experience, or are you in like a?
You know what's crazy is I was on a fertility journey for a while. It was pretty like a year. And so when I got the positive test, I was like, okay, this is finally happening. Because in my eyes, as a woman, it's supposed to be like automatic. That's what I was thinking. Teenagers get pregnant and they're not trying. So if I'm, as old as I am and I'm actually trying, it should be easy. And I realized that it wasn't easy, that you actually have to plan it out. You have to look at your cycle. It has to align with the stars. You have to be ovulating. And I felt like it's natural. This is something that's supposed to just come to me. So with the positive test, I was like, okay, this is definitely happening. This is good. But then when I lost it, it was the worst hurt that I've ever experienced. And I didn't understand what I did wrong. I blamed myself because I thought my body failed me, or this is something I'm supposed to do. It's my duty. It's what I was made for, So it was very difficult to reconcile with, and I'm still in therapy trying to understand it all. But at this point, I'm not ready to continue that journey because the loss was just so great. Yeah. It was a grieving, and it was a difficult level of grieving because it's for someone I never knew or met, but I still miss them. Yeah. So right now, no, not now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you did know them. It was a part of you that you were bringing into this world and downloading into this world. So you very much so know this you. Wow. My other question is, so how so for you, what does this woman thing like comes down to as women are like losing their minds, like you guys are changing every fucking thing. What makes me a woman then? So for you, especially with your experience now, like, okay, well, damn, we definitely in murky territory when we are defining woman based upon these said things. So now, like, how has that? Where are you with? Like, okay, well, what makes me a woman? Is there such thing as even man and woman? When we really start to peel back all the fucking layers, what are we really left with other than a bunch of characteristics and personality? But is there some inherent gunk that just defines woman, that defines man? And I guess I'm not per se even talking biologically, because I also see how the universe tried to muddy that up with intersex people. Like, yeah, we're gonna throw some unusual shit up in there too to show y'all that maybe this thing is a bit more metaphysical and spiritual in nature than it really is an objective thing. But when you see women like afraid of, I guess, losing this definition behind this label or whatever it is, like what's going on in your head as it relates to like self-defining as a woman? What makes you a woman? What is a woman according to Delia?
I wish I knew the answer, because I want to say a woman is feminine and she's soft, but there are too many examples of women that are not that way. The way that women will attack other women, Meg Thee Stallion, Halle Bailey, Sky Jackson, like the way that they will tap into their masculinity so quick to berate and attack another woman is not feminine, and it's not soft, but women will do that. And so there is no one definition of a woman. For me, it is the way that I present, and it's the energy that I exude. But not every woman has that same presentation or that same mindset. So for the sake of being able to communicate, for the sake of living in this society, that's the way that I define a woman. But if we're, being metaphysical, if we're being astrological, the energies are what balance our feminine and our masculine. If we lean more feminine, then we have this energy that we typically as a society would associate with being a woman. But I feel like there's so much more to it that makes a woman who she is. And I think that blaming it or being specifically on the biological definition is so dangerous, because there's not one way that a biological woman is able to activate or participate in the world. And so that's really putting us in a box that we don't all fit into. And it's demoralizing or dehumanizing when you're telling me a woman is able to bear children, and a woman is able to produce milk, and a woman is able to do all these things that a woman cannot do. So then what is she? So I think we have to get out of the definitions that are biological and think more about whether this is a social construct that we just keep in society, or if we're looking beyond to the stars and to the energies and to the atmosphere.
Yeah, because as you were talking, I was thinking of like how women literally be saying that same thing a lot of the time. Like, I mean, a part of the like mentality behind certain sectors of feminism has to do with the fact that we're not these things. Like, society, I'm not just a baby making machine. I'm not just a sexual object. I'm not just a pair of nice tits. But then when trans women affirm just that by saying, right, like there's something else moving behind the background here that's not explicitly clear to your point in these womanly attributes, because those attributes are not always there. And then what? And then what? And then what? That's the question that we're left with. And then what? What does that mean then? Who am I beyond this, outside of this? And do people just have an issue identifying as just a spiritual being? Because ultimately, I'm just like, I don't think we're ever going to get to a clearness. Like, I don't know what it means to be a fucking man. I know what it means to be a person. I just know that I'm a thing bobbing around on the planet. Like, I'm just a thing that's lucid, and I have thoughts, and I have an animation, I have a consciousness, and maybe trying to contextualize that
it's complex. And it's so much easier to be black and white. Like, this is a woman, this is a man. Men date women, women date men. It's easier to understand the world in that way, even though that's not how it is. But people like a Nene Leakes, they want to see, if I am a woman, I should date a man should date me, and that be the end of the discussion. But it's so much more nuanced and more complex than how the world actually is. But people are not ready for that.
You're not. Okay, I know I got to get to other people. I just keep getting more questions. Okay. So before I get to this conversation on like feminine, how do you feel about, where are you with men? Like, where are you with like, just, I don't know. Could you take, if your soulmate wanted you to peg them, how would you deal with like let's say you met this is the man of your dreams, like he got everything on the check mark, but he liked to be bent over every now and again. That's something you could even fathom giving to a man and being to a man? Or how do you feel about straight men who have so-called like feminine proclivities, like whether that be maybe show up in his mannerisms, maybe it shows up in his sexual pleasure, his sexual arousal, I don't know, it show up in any kind of way. But where are you just with men and men having feminine traits? Could you be attracted to a man with some type of femininity? Are you open to accommodating that? Does it turn you off? Do you find it preposterous for a man to have femininity? Could you be happy romantically and sexually with a man who has femininity? Yeah, who has feminine traits?
Feminine traits, yes, because I definitely need someone to understand me on a level that is not surface. And I feel that when you're leaning too into your masculinity, it stifles your ability to comprehend or ability to think critically. And I feel like there's a feminine layer of critical thinking that is necessary to have these really in-depth conversations. So intellectually, yes. Sexually, I don't know that I'm built like that. I don't think I can peg. I don't think that I have the strength. That's not something that I'm equipped to be able to do, just because that's not.
Okay, so maybe like, he wanted to ride you. You ain't got to do nothing. You just lay there with the strap on, and he just saddles you.
And still no. And still no. I like, maybe it's because I'm selfish, but I like receiving. Like, I like the it's about to get graphic. I'd much rather prefer the penetration my direction than to give it. But obviously, if this is someone that I love, I will explore to an extent. But the penetration coming from me is not something that I feel like I'm going to do well, because I don't want to do it. But if a man is interested in that type of feeling, then he probably wouldn't be able to get it from me. I'd probably have to.
You are open. You're like, look, this doesn't, I don't think I would naturally be good at this. This is something I would naturally desire, but I love you, so I guess we could work on something.
Maybe we would try. And I know that it's probably on my end hypocritical, because I am attracted to women, not sexually. Well, sometimes sexually, because like Meg Thee Stallion is my crush. Like, I love her. But
Really?
I've never been with a woman. I just find women so beautiful and so attractive and so amazing. But I've never sexually been with a woman. So for me, it's like, I can understand if you find yourself attractive, a man finds himself attractive, you might find another man attractive because you see something that is attractive about masculinity, possibly. When it comes to performing sexual acts, I don't have the same proclivities. Like, I'm not too interested in being with a woman in that way, but I find them attractive. So I'm in a place where I can't really define my sexual fluidity.
Yeah.
So I'm exploratory.
Megan Thee Stallion, if you're listening, hit my girl's DM.
Please do, Meg. Please do.
Turn her every which way but loose, baby. Okay. Okay, Delete is going to stick around for a little bit, you guys. Okay. All right. That was good stuff, and thank you so much, Boo, for sharing something so vulnerable here, because I know a lot of women can relate to that. Is it Casey or Kazi?
Kazi.
Hey, Kazi, welcome to the platform.
Thank you, Conscious.
I know a lot has been spoken about, so where do you want to jump in at?
Well, I would like to say thank you to the previous lady that was speaking about her past and what she's been through. I really get frustrated when it comes to when they say, oh, trans women, they can't have babies, they can't do this, they don't have cycles, whatever, and it's so insensitive to people. People are so in their emotions that they forget that, there are people that are going through, that are, biological women, cis women that are actually going through this, and you're just saying that, and other women are hearing this, and it's like it just goes out the window. And my sister-in-law also has went through what she's gone through, and I see how that affected her marriage, where we even had to intervene, even to help them stay together, to help both of them understand, like, both of you guys are hurting. Both of you guys have lost something, and it's not, you shouldn't get a divorce. A lot of times I do get a divorce and it's sad, but family came together to help them get past that, to the point to where they proceed and they are still married to this day. And I appreciate what she said and brought that up in the conversation. I really do appreciate it.
Absolutely. Wow. Thank you for sharing. Is that all that you wanted to share?
Oh no, there's a lot that I wanted to share, but I was listening in. I was like, okay, I like where this is going. I love it. But I was going to say that I myself I'm a bisexual woman who discovered as a married woman that I am pan, because I'm older. I'm a little bit older. So back when I was like 18, I actually dated a trans woman. Didn't even know what that meant. But I just saw somebody that was pretty. She was nice. She was soft-spoken. I would leave school with her. We would walk, talk, drop off at Zaxby's at her job. If he would just say, "Oh, who's that? That's your girlfriend? That's your girlfriend?" And she was actually transitioning back in 2011. So I was like, I didn't even know what that meant, or even know what did I like or anything. But when I gotten older, when I noticed that, okay, I love the masculine men. I love men who look like the football players, buff and big. And then I find you. I'm like, oh yeah, I like you too. I like you too. I actually even told my therapist that, because I never really, because you're married, you don't really talk too much about it. What's the point? People don't understand.
Right.
But I actually told my therapist about you, and she even looked you up.
Oh,
she saw you. And she looked you up, and she was like, "Oh," she said, "Oh yeah, that's a beautiful man. I see why you like him." I was like, "Yeah, you see, right? Am I wrong?"
Really? Thought you had the therapist come check me out.
Hey,
what was you saying about me to the therapist?
Oh no, it was just, oh yeah, he's a YouTuber. I like, he does celebrity gossip or news gossip, but really, it's his energy. He's funny. I love his radiance thing. You have a veneer smile, but you ain't got veneers. I love that.
No, these are veneers.
They look good. They
Yeah.
look good. Keep them up. I'm in the dentist industry. They look perfect.
Thank you,
They
baby.
whoever
That's
did
the
did a
whole
good
point.
job. They
Because see,
didn't do it
I
like
mean,
over here in
I'm
Atlanta
on the
where they look
screen
kind of
all the
blue.
time. I'm on the screen all the time, you know, like, and
Yeah.
then I know, like, because I'm in an area where my social profile is growing, so you know,
Oh
like
yeah.
other people
Understood.
don't want to take pictures, so I said, you know, let me get me all the way in order as somebody
Oh
who's
yeah.
always in front of the camera. But
Hey,
my
if
natural
you
cheeks
can
are the
afford, you
ones,
got it.
yeah,
Oh yeah, you got it. I'm glad that you didn't do it in Atlanta where they be making them look a little bit too blue and too horses, like some celebrities around here.
no,
Because there's only
get
like
me
about
started.
there's like 3 dental offices around the metro Atlanta area, and I don't know what they're doing. But anyway, I digress.
Yes.
I digress.
So
But I
you,
was go ahead.
so so as a woman, like even in your own journey, you self-discovered, etc. You seem to have done a lot of your work, just like Dalia has done. Like y'all have done
Yeah.
y'all work. Y'all are at a place where y'all are comfortable. So, like, what do you say to your natural born peers who seem to be struggling really badly? You know, with all
It's
of this and feeling so disempowered amidst this whole, you know, trans phenomenon that's taking place in our society.
conscious, honestly, to the point where I don't know, I guess I'm a Virgo. I
Yeah.
like to help people understand and whatever. And I kind of find myself in an impasse and something. I can feel if that person's not even, you can't even get to that section before they even work on the situation that's
Mm,
going on in their personal life. And that's sad, especially in the Black community. It's so sad because it's too many times that people just trauma dump or just, hey, let me call you, ask for advice, whatever, or just don't even, hey, ask, I would like to, you to ask me how I'm doing, but whatever. It's okay. I don't mind helping. But at the same time, I think it's going to take, I'm sorry to say, even in the millennial stage, I
mm,
think, I think it's going to be Gen Alpha. I think it's going to be the next generation, even after, where it's going to get to a point to where they even feel comfortable and not have to go back and forth. Because I don't know, I think it's a little bit too late for people our age. I
mm,
really do. And I'm sure there's a lot of us that are there, but it seems like there's not enough.
yeah. Well,
So
I think it's a
yeah,
growing movement. I can see the growth happening slowly but for
it's
sure.
happening. But
Yeah.
everybody just has to go to everybody. Every single body has to go to therapy. I don't care, even if you had a 2-parent household, nothing traumatic happened to you. There are still things in this world that you don't even know how to fix.
Yeah.
But if you don't talk to somebody who actually knows what they're talking about and don't just give up on one therapist because you had a bad experience with one, no, therapists are people too. Try somebody else. Try somebody else. It took me 3 tries to find my one therapist that I've been with for over 5 years, to the point to where she's giving me something that my own mother couldn't give me.
Yeah.
And that's when I found out, and it took me 5 years just even get to that point in my life.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
always tell
yeah,
people that finding a good therapist is like finding a church. Sometimes you need to travel around. Not every
yep,
therapist is the therapist for you, but you also have to do the work and you have to
right.
be committed as well. So, okay. Well, thank you for that. How you pronounce your name again, boo?
Consciouztv, it's fine. It's something I just made up. It's okay.
I love it. Okay, I'm gonna get Perp in here to sound off. Hi, Perp. Long time no hear, my love. Are you there, Perp?
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, I am awesome. How are you? I think your audio is going in and out. If you can hear me. Uh-oh. Yeah, your audio is going in and out, boo. It's like phasing in and out.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you loud, live, and in color. Okay, so pop off for me. Tell me, what are your thoughts as you are bearing witness to these interesting tensions between
Uh,
parties?
I love you CTV because you got more patience than I'll ever have, baby, when it comes to educating people
I
on
think I'm running
things.
out of patience. I'm running out of patience.
I can't blame you, honey, because you've been at it for a long time, so I can appreciate you
That's
ready
why
to
I had
throw
to
in
have
the
my
towel.
surrogate a Bubs here, because he's the one who's going to take the torch and just run off toward the burning house. Yeah.
But I have learned a lot with you. I
Mhm.
will say that.
Yes, you
And
have. Because you used to give me a hard time when it came to certain things. You're
oh,
like,
I
"Hey,
sure
baby,
did.
baby, you
Hell,
get
I'm
the
gonna be
whole thing
honest
out
with
of
my
your
truth. For better or for worse, I'm gonna be honest about it.
period.
But to
Mhm.
but to answer your question, if my
Yeah.
dude wanted me to head count or whatever, I'm gonna
Mm.
try to put his ass to the mattress. I'm just gonna
Woo!
be honest about it.
Wow.
Cause like, well, we two grown people up in here. If that's what he wants, and that's what he shall have.
Come on
ain't
now.
even playing with him like that.
Mm.
So yeah, I don't mind.
You're gonna do
And
it, but you're gonna do it.
We
Okay,
going
so
hell
that's a
yeah,
good point. Is this
Hell-
because I know is this part of the concept of compromising? We hear that a lot when it comes to sex and when it comes to a relationship. Oh, everybody got to compromise. Everybody got to do the compromise. Is I don't. I'm trying to think. Cause see,
for me,
what?
it's not really compromising though, because like if we're both open, then why wouldn't I want to satisfy my partner? It's my fucking partner. I'm not doing it for every damn body in the hood. I'm doing it for my partner. So like it's whatever at that point. As far as what
Okay, hold
Deshaun
on.
said,
I'll put a pin.
hmm
Okay, hold on. I'll put a pin in it right there. Let me go back
hmm
to Delia. Okay, so Delia, does anything change about the way you perceive your man once you put the hardware in his ass? Is there does something happen intellectually or like in all transparency? Like once he's moaning, once you are watching that back arch, that ass is tooted, is there something also happening in the way you perceive your ninja?
See, it's not the way I perceive him. It's just my level of comfortability and my confidence. Because my mother told me what her mother told me, which is don't do something you're not prepared to keep up in your relationship. So
Mm.
even though it's going to give him this pleasure, he's going to enjoy it so much he's going to want it more often. And I was, going out of my comfort zone, out of my my ability to give you this experience, and now you want it more often than I wanted to give it to you. And now I started something that I'm not prepared to finish. I won't look at him as less of a man because that's what he enjoys. It just wouldn't work for me. So when Purple is saying like she's gonna give her man what she wants, congrats to you. For me, I have a level of comfortability that I am not willing to get out of as of yet. Maybe when I get older, but right now I'm still a little conservative.
And I know it's easier to say what we probably won't do when we're thinking hypothetically, but like in real time, because I'm sure that this is something you would calculate into your rationing. It's like, okay, well, damn, I see that he does a lot of things he don't want to do for me. He
What does he
manufactured,
do that he doesn't want to do for me?
huh?
What does he do that he doesn't want to do for me?
Because even right, because look, I'm honest.
I would.
If it wasn't for the fact that I love some people, I would not do half the shit that I actually. It's the love that be compelling me to bend and contort and to flip and dip the way that I do and to yield myself and to show up for shit. I wouldn't necessarily like. I wouldn't
You
do it
gotta do it
like
at least once.
I would do love. And especially if I see that it goes both ways. Like, cause I understand that like a lot of people in my life who love the fuck out of me, they wouldn't do some of the shit they do for me either if it wasn't for like the fact that they love me. I know they don't want to, but they do it any fucking way because they just decided that, it's only going to be healthy is if they do their fair share of putting up with my shit, and I do my fair share of putting up with what makes them happy, what makes them TikTok, etc. Which is why I said, this idea of compromise. Because to be honest, you too sane. I don't care what you say. You too reasonable of a. I can't see you not finding a way to do it if you're getting all your needs met in core in that relationship. I think you would figure out what you could figure out.
I mean, anything's possible. I just haven't explored that far in my sexual journey to have ever gotten to the point where that was an option. Because a lot of the men, and that's the thing about the whole TS and Nene conversation, is the men that I get with and the men that I'm engaged to, they all present hyper masculine in a way that it's like that's not even something they'd ever consider. So I don't know that this is an idea in the back of their mind, and I'm definitely not the one to bring it up. If he brought it up, then it'll be a conversation.
Right.
But I'm not going to be the one to be like, hey, you know what we want to try tonight? Like, no. But it is something that's possible, because there are men that have these desires, that have these pleasures that they are not acting on because they may fear that I will see them differently. I already see him as hyper masculine. So if he asks me to do something, he might think that I will view him differently after that. So anything is possible. Yeah. I'm just not at that point yet.
Okay. And before I get back to Perp, I want to ask Demi a personal question too. Demi,
yes.
How do you identify sexually?
Gay.
Okay. And how do you identify in position?
I've been in my top era since 2015. I consider myself a verse top. I love them both.
Oh, okay. So that kind of answers my question. You're going to give it up however it needs to be. Okay.
You don't feel like you need to be like in a mental state. Like you don't have to prepare yourself. Like it just comes, like you're just fine with it. You don't have to.
Whatever day of the week. Some days I got holes on the line that I want to bust down. And then I got like maybe one or two that I'll let bust me down. It's just, but the crazy part is I'm real picky about who I let bust me down. It has to be someone taller than me, one. Two, someone who I can
see. Shit.
So, you know.
Another L for Bubs. My God.
That wasn't directed at you. I didn't know. I was just like, it's just, you know, it goes back to what you say all the time, conscious with attraction.
I got a ladder.
Like,
period.
One dude that I bust down who was my neighbor, I would never let him top me ever.
Yeah.
And he actually admitted he would never want to. So I'm like, that works out fine because you would never.
Okay. I'm gonna answer that question. There are some things like, you know, I may need several drinks and then half a cocktail, you know, and then okay. So something, because to your point, Delia, there are not things that like that. Okay. I have a fiance and I have a boyfriend, and both of them are top tier freaks. Now I'm a freak too because I'm a Scorpio, so my freak level is already high. Their freak level is also high, but there's things in their freakiness that don't come natural to me as a thing that I would per se prefer to do. But because I'm of the idea that all is fair in love and war, and I do believe in compromising, because there are definitely things I'm going to want my partners to do emotionally, mentally, sexually, that they either may not always be in the mood to do, or they just may not naturally have the whatever to do. But like, if I'm going to need that from you, you need to find a way to run me that. Like, I'm of that attitude. So, you know I have to give it up the same way in return. Like, I'm not going to always, there are things I'm not going to always want to do, but I'm okay with doing that, because once you've decided that you're really happy with somebody and you're in love with somebody, it's like, ultimately, I'm in a relationship that's very valuable to me. So I know everything that I'm pouring in is coming back to me in every which way. So I'm fine with being, I'm fine with temporarily suspending my comfortability, etc., to make you happy in a moment. I'm okay with you suspending yours temporarily, you know, to make me happy. But I don't know if I buy into this idea that a relationship can be completely, fully fulfilling if if I don't bend, don't we have to bend? Like, don't we have to? Like, isn't like
I've been just not like that. See, that's where I play my role because I am a pillow princess. I'm getting all the treatment. So when I'm approaching it, I'm like, okay, this is the role that I'm about to play. This is how it's going to go down. This is where I'm comfortable. This is what I like. And then it feeds his ego because he gets to be, he gets to be strong. He gets to be tough, and all this stuff. So it's like, that's what we're comfortable at this level. And that's what I'm comfortable at because that's the role that I like to play. So if it gets to the point where it's now time to reverse the roles, I don't know how to do that. And so now I'm not going to be confident in it. I'm not going to be comfortable with it because this is what I've been giving you thus far. And now you want to switch it up.
Can I talk on that point?
Switching it up takes away from what you're giving me. It's just like a comma instead of a period. Like, oh, I like when you do this, and I like when you do ... too. But not that one takes away from the other. It's just an etc. No.
Can I speak on that of being married for 6 years?
Yeah, sure.
Once it gets to a point to where, okay, we're young, when we were dating, it was like every other day, maybe a couple years down the line, probably 3 times a week. Couple more years, okay. There is a X shop down the street. We both gotta walk hand in hand here, and let's walk around. Let's see what we like. Let's see what can we bring in. What can we do different? Okay, it's been a couple years. I know I'm good in front of you. I can be awkward in front of you. Even if you say something that'd be like, oh man, I embarrass myself in front of you. I don't care. We don't care because oh, that's just you. That's just you. That's just how you are. And we accept that with each other, good and bad. So when it gets to that point where, all right, we don't do every position. We don't done Aiden. We don't done every hole that we both can think of. So what years now, going on 7, 8 years, what now? What are you gonna do? Okay, I like it when, okay, let's go in this room. Okay, let's go in that room. You did in all the rooms. It's been years. You did it. Now what? Now it comes to a point where you get to a comfortability. It doesn't matter if I don't know how to do this. I've never done it before. I don't even know how this works, how many batteries it's gonna take. I don't know who's gonna put on what, who's gonna do what. But hey, let's see. Let's see if we like it, we like it. Okay, you want to role play? You want to do this? You want to do that? It might be a little bit awkward in the beginning stages, but once you walk down that path hand in hand, because hell, I ain't going nowhere. Are you going anywhere? No. Am I going anywhere? No. Ain't nothing else for us to do.
But are you exploring out of like boredom? Like you want to spice it up? Or you truly desire, like you really want to do these things?
It's the unknown because I've never done it, period. I can't even say if I'm bored or I'm just curious or it can be all three, honestly. There's nothing wrong with being bored. We've been together I've known him since, we didn't date in high school, but I met him in high school and then I got with him later on in my mid to early 20s. We both went to college, we both went our separate ways. We came back together. We had some things going on with our families to where it kind of brought us together to where, oh, you're in the same situation I'm in. I'm in a situation, we know how to deal with each other, we know how to talk to each other. Even if we argue, it's like, oh man, you remind me of home, you remind me of home. I don't even think I want to be with you. I don't know if it's going to work out, but I love you so much to even, okay, give it a break. Okay, I can't talk to you right now. I can't. Okay, give it 24 hours. Give it 48 hours. Let's come back because I know me and you can work this out. I know we can communicate. Even if we struggle with communication, I know we can get through this. There's no way we've been through as much as we've been through to where we cannot talk like adults. And that was us at 25.
I actually think that this way of thinking probably helps relationships to last longer when you're willing to be like adventurous, when you like see your partner as not a end game, but you also see them as a comma, like you see kind of life as a comma and you're willing to like roll with that rather than decide where it ends and where it begins. When Kazi was talking, it reminded me of like when you get an album from an artist you really love and you like the bulk of it, but then after a while, you know, after your initial songs kind of die down, you kind of get curious about those songs you overlooked. And then for some reason, you go back and like, oh, I also like the shit that I thought was really lame and stupid to add to this goddamn project. And I kind of see relationships kind of the same way. But to Delia's point, I'm also of a personal belief that, how can I say this? Like, you can get a customizable partner. Like, I mean, Delia is a princess, and she got a male mate that is perfectly, can perfectly like what's the opposite? What's the opposite of a princess? Like a pillow princess and a what kind of man makes like is ideal? How would you describe your man, Adelia? Just like a super masculine, like a man's man? Are you on mute, boo?
Term for that.
Yeah,
but I don't know if there's a term for that.
No. Okay. So so people can get like perfectly in sync, like where you are and what you like, and then find a mate that is like Bubs, for instance. Bubs is open to doing some strange shit, but he don't want to compromise on his sexual versatility. He does not want to be penetrated. And of course, there is a perfectly well-made freaky bottom who is customized to that, who wouldn't want to flip him, who wouldn't want to penetrate him, who is a pillow princess too, and there's perfect alignment in that. I'm just super radical.
Sometimes
I'm just super radical in my thinking. I like to just press the gas and take shit to the ballistic level, and I like to try and test everything beyond its so-called boundaries, because maybe that's just the Scorpio in me. We just have a thing for like exploring the dark crevices of the universe and seeing like what's behind that veil, what's in that attic, what's in that basement, like what's in that fucking box you've been keeping away to the back of the closet. Like we just have all of that. But I get it. I totally get it.
Well, to be honest with you, CTV, their subconscious mind is going to filter out anybody who's not really going to hit that agreement for them, because you're just going to naturally radiate what you want. Like for me, the likelihood of that scenario coming up for me is way more greater for me because I'm with the shit. For somebody else who's not with the shit, they won't even put that person on their radar. Their mind will automatically filter them the hell out because it's just not what they vibing with. But for somebody like me, the likelihood of that conversation happening is hella likely because I'm a fucking freak and I have no problems about saying what I am. It is what it is. So
I did not know you were a freak, perp. I did not know you were giving it up like that, honey. That you were old nasty piece of freak leak in the bedroom. I did not know that yet. Oh, I think it's perp gone.
Oh. No, right here. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Actually, some of it came because of being around you constantly. I opened up my repertoire even more because I was already a freak. But then you were like, "Hey, did you consider this?" I was like, "Oh shit, let me consider that."
I have a knack for turning people out in my life. Like a Reckless has taken to this panel and said CTV got me out of my like thug phase, and now he's also attracted to feminine gay men, not just the traditional masculine men. I got a homeboy named YB Entertainment. He's a content creator on these streets. Me and him battled it out so bad years ago because he was also into the super masculine. Now he fucking trans women, cross dressers, everything else. I love bending people's brains and just giving them options. I feel like, we're here to colonize. We're here to colonize the sexual landscape, spiritual landscape. That there's a lot of field and not enough laborers. So I believe in the exploration. Look, going back to the whole book of Genesis, what's interesting to me is that when God gave Adam and Eve 2 motherfucking commandments: multiply, 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 and stay away from the fucking tree that tells you to stay away from all the other goddamn trees. The fact that God's commandment was literally for Adam and Eve to indulge in all the other frequencies of the garden and to stay away from the one that prohibited them from doing so, that made them censor their experiences with every other frequency, is nuts. That's the type of freedom that I'm trying to get back to, baby. It's like just relentless indulgence in all things life-giving and pleasurable and abundance and just a ruthless adventurous experience of life. I am all for that shit. But this has been a riveting discussion. I think we've made a lot of headway on the trans conversation. I think Dalia hit it on the nail, but I feel like that's going to take, like, I don't think straight women are going to be able to hear it from queer people. I think it's going to take the Dalias and the Kazies and the Perps to say it, because when it comes from us, it feels like the queer agenda. It feels like new age. It gets made into all of that. So I think what you said, Adelia, I think it is hard. I think that a women's community, and my heart goes out to women's community, because God, y'all have been put through it in the world, period. Definitely in Western society. I know that there's been a lot of shit that's been jam-packed on top of women. There's a lot of barriers. There's a lot of socialization. There's a lot of indoctrination. There's just a lot of moving parts. I can only imagine, how much debris has to be removed from the abundance of layering that's been stacked on top of women. I can understand why women are having a complicated experience of life, because patriarchy has designed it that way. And I just want to see the tensions. I just want to see the tensions finally just can't we? I'm just ready for the love. I'm just ready for us all to get along. I'm ready for us all to realize we're all in the same boat, that we're only destroying ourselves and binding ourselves even more by trying to uphold some of this shit just because it may benefit us in the moment, but it actually doesn't benefit us in the long run. It doesn't benefit us in the big picture. There are some things we are upholding that do benefit us right now, but like we can't be of that. We can't be so poverty-minded to be okay with the scraps that come from master's table when we can just really get rid of that table all the fuck together and use those scraps to recreate our fucking own and sit at that motherfucker comfortably. But that will take every community doing the fucking work and contributing their fair share part to that. Purple, no, you gonna say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say I don't think that we can actually have this conversation fully intelligently without addressing the elephant in the room, which is misogyny, which is at the root cause of the patriarchy, racism, all the isms that you tend to fight against has its mother in misogyny. And because misogyny has been so indoctrinated and institutionalized into our society, it's like it's very dormant and very diabolical in its nature of how it shows up, and it looks very innocent. It looks very not as dangerous as it truly is, because it grabs a hold and roots into everything And it's like a cancer that has been allowed to be dormant. And then one day you wake up and you at stage 4. And that's
Mm.
basically what has occurred with society. Society has allowed this cancer called misogyny to get to the point where we're beyond stage 4 now. And we're seeing the consequences of allowing it to fester and to go on unattended. Because misogyny, misogyny is not a natural state. Nobody gets born in this world and comes out immediately misogynistic. It's a social programming, it's a learned behavior. And because it's such a learned behavior, we have the opportunity to unlearn it and not to perpetuate it on one another. Because when you're dealing with the attacks on trans women and it's even killing the quote unquote heterosexual male because he's being put into the same box where everybody else is demanding a certain behavior from you. And as long as you're confining yourself to that, all you're doing is destroying yourself from within. Because at some point, it's not going to give what it needs to give, boo. You're going to be out here looking crazy because it's going to demand something of you that you really don't want to give. Because, like I always said, the devil is always going to dance longer than you want to stay. And that's basically what misogyny has done. It's even crippling those people who love to uphold misogyny. They're suffering the consequences of their own misogynistic ways, which is why we're seeing men unalive themselves, why there's a loneliness epidemic occurring, why women are now saying, I'd rather let you go extinct than to deal with this shit. That's where all of that is coming from. Because at some point, we got to address the elephant in the room. We can't just keep ignoring what's there because it's rooting into other things and causing other societal issues as well.
Mm. You tapped on exactly what I was tapping into earlier in me and Bub's conversation when I was saying, look, we're not addressing the elephant. We are deflecting, reflecting, inspiring, and it's really sad because what it's a reminder of is the fact that so many people don't even realize that they're in trouble. And I think that that's what's scary. It's not only are we in trouble, so many people don't know that they're actually in trouble. They don't even know it.
Now, can I piggyback off of that too?
Yes.
I hate to turn it into a dark stage of it, but it seems like, especially with what's going on right now, the only way to wake up the docileness of what the quote unquote normity of what society has put us through is revolution. There needs to be people in the streets fighting. There are people who are not going to be here in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes as we speak because of what's going on with society right now. The only way that's going to fix it is it's going to be a new generation that has to grow up and actually see this at a young age, even though you try to protect the children and try to keep them as innocent as possible. It comes to a certain age to where they're going to have to see this. You see how wrong this is at a young age. A young person can tell this doesn't feel right. I don't like this. And you hear them say that, or they awkwardly try to say, be a man, do this, do that. You know, see, girls do this, boys do that. You ain't supposed to you don't play with dolls. You don't do, and even you make them feel bad for even just expressing themselves. At a young age, they even know that this doesn't feel right. Why can't I just do what I want to do? Why can't I just go in the path that feels right for me? And then you grow up and you have this idea of what you're supposed to go through, and the world sometimes pushes back on you. Now you got a bunch of incels online. Now you got a bunch of alpha males out here. Now you got a bunch of pick me girls out here, young age. They don't know what they're doing. Nobody knows what they're doing. Some of them want to be conservative. Some women want to be out in the streets because you think it's not because you want to be, because I just think that's what I know what I was supposed to do. Everybody else was doing it. Everybody in the 80s were doing it. My parents were born in the 1950s. They're very conservative. So when I get with my husband, whose parents are born in the 80s, it's completely different parent stuff. They literally told them to go out there, go party. Boys, you ain't supposed to be with one girl at a time. No, go out there and do what you gotta do, because that's what I was doing in the 80s. I had women on top of women on top of women. or just telling girls, oh yeah, go out there and party, do this, do this, do this. Well, my mom, I was like, my mom didn't tell me to do any of that. Why would I do that? And we're
Yeah.
both sitting here looking at each other, how generation upon generation has switched up to the point to now, okay, now we gotta talk about racism. Okay, yeah, Black Lives Matter. Okay, we had our thing. And now another race has to go through a semi quota, maybe a little bit more harsher, maybe now it's up to you, their own little Black Lives Matter. And then the next race in this country, it's going to have to go through another Black Lives Matter. All of y'all have to wake up. You're going to see who's actually in charge and who's actually has pulling the strings are making it harder for you to be in this country, period. And we know it. Black people, we've been there. Other people know it too. And then surprisingly, there's a couple of them that don't. And you think you with them until they turn against you. And now look what's happening.
But can we
Now
also
look who we are.
touch on something that we didn't get to say in this conversation? I know we're wrapping it up, but the onus largely is on men. We live in a patriarchy. It stops from the top down. So if men are able to openly admit their sexual fluidity, a lot of the pick-me's are going to follow. If men start saying, you know what, I'm interested in this guy, women have no choice but to acquiesce because they're men pleasers. They want to be in the good graces of men. So men have to start by saying, like, for example, Drake having threesomes with other men. He's not doing it for the women. He's doing it to be in proximity to these men, going behind the men, dating the women that they've dated, is all to get a connection to that man. The way that we have people on platforms like DJ Academics blazing these men, and the way that men go in the comments for Tory Lanez and whoever is in the headlines, they are attracted to those men. They want to find favor with those men. They're not interested in women, but they'll never admit that. And until they do, we're going to continue to have these conversations where women think, oh, he doesn't want her, or he doesn't want him. Men have to be open and say, yes, they actually do. They're way more fluid than they put on. And then the rest are just going to follow.
Yes, because we live in a very I'd be saying also we live in a very male identified society, and men are very male identified, women are male identified, and to Delia's point, the reality is, to some degree, women are going to follow men. So if the men come out and be their authentic selves and stand in their shit, the rest of the body is going to follow. Like, women are only upholding what they see the men upholding. They're only going to help sustain whatever they see the men are sustaining. And I have been telling men in this age of Aquarius, where the divine feminine is coming and regulating, that we as a community need to take this opportunity to do the same work that women are taking the opportunity to do, because women looked at that scrambled chessboard and decided that what they're going to do with that is work on their mental health, work on their independency, better their lives, get in touch with what truly makes them happy, love who loves them, and just reclaim and salvage what can be salvaged, while men predominantly are still here trying to beat and berate women back into the submission of their grandmothers, and trying to force and strong arm women into submission. And we're seeing large chunks of women divest emotionally, mentally, etc. Like, baby, we've left the plantation, we've left Egypt, sugar, and we're not coming back. And no amount of whining and complaining and saying that we're men and we're pit bulls in skirts and we're masculine and we can't do it without y'all. We'll die with that vibrator in us. It'll be fine. Okay? We'll get there. Even if we get there alone, or hell, simply get there together, we'll be all right. And so I'm encouraging men, take the plunge too, because the reality is, I think men are going to have a harder, and I know men are going to have a harder time with that plunge than women, because men literally do not have an identity in the system. Once you take away the provider trope, I mean, men are Casper, the friendly fucking ghost. They literally are starting at utter scratch and have no idea how to even create an identity for themselves, and are not even, and because men have ran away so much from their emotions and from their emotional needs, and have fine-tuned themselves away from their intuition, men don't even have the emotional mental resources to deal with the emptiness of their souls, to deal with the emptiness of their vain existence. And so I understand why men are running and kind of knucking and bucking against this change, but this change really could do all of us a world of good by embracing it, regardless of how unprepared we feel and how far away from the mark we are currently. But this is a way toward that precision, is through self-discovery and going into that abyss and coming out like the fucking phoenix. So I'm glad that we have people on this platform like you beautiful people who are forging ahead, who are awake in your life and lucid in your life, and who also have the kahunas to come up here and to be a part of the minority community, because there's a lot of women who wanted Delia's head earlier in this conversation. Like, I mean, and y'all are standing in this shit. Y'all are not letting up. Y'all are calling a thing a thing, and y'all are willing to have the righteous confrontations. And I just love that tenacity, and I love the ballsiness, and we need a lot of that. We need people doubling down on what's right in principle. So I appreciate all of you guys, and thank you so much for coming up. If you guys have any, of course, you better stick around, Bubs. You gotta help me close out. But does any of the rest of my panelists have any final words? Demi, any final words?
My final words is thank you again, Conscious, for having me
Of course.
Thank you to everybody that came up. I've taken away so many gems, of course, from this. I love an opportunity to learn and to hear from everyone who's on the ground, boots are on the ground, different points of view. Mr. Lee, thank you for your experience. Again, I can never fathom what a woman has to go through when that happens to them. I only have a friend through that, and going through that with her, via her being in Hawaii, me being here, we definitely spiritually tied. So I was emotionally invested in that, in her to, go on and go over to Bahrain. So we definitely need more people like Dalia and Miss Kazi, because I feel like these are the spiritual individuals who are awakened enough to be able to look at it from a higher consciousness of learning, and trying to educate those that make the dumbass comments on the shade room and all that. I'm just like, y'all willfully are ignorant and just immediately go to insulting. That's a man. That's a man. I'm like, have y'all critical thinking gets deactivated immediately as soon as you see a trans woman? Like, so I'm just happy I was a part of it. Again, I love being able to think critically and have people give me new points of view and stuff and add on to my current way of thinking. And so I love this. So thank you.
Well, thank you for being here, boo. That was our Demi. You guys, Dalia, we're still waiting on the channel, child. We're waiting on your comeback. You can see that there's a need for you out here in the streets, honey. We know you got a lot to say about Hallie. We know you got a lot to say.
Yes.
We know Megan. Look, we need you out here, for better or for worse.
I mean, I'm going to try. I'm a teacher, so I'm on summer break. So I'm going to have time. I'm going to be active for the next couple months. So, but I appreciate you always having space for me and having a platform for everyone. I don't want to come up on here and trauma dump, but I appreciate those that were listening and were sending love and light. It's just something that, I have to get off, because it's a very personal thing. But when we have these conversations about womanhood, I can't help but feel triggered. And so I appreciate this space to be able to share that information. So I always appreciate the panels.
I appreciate you being here and trusting us, because I know that this space can be intense at times. And I want to ask you a question, because I know you probably disagree with 90% of my take on Hallie and DG situation, but I think it's important to hear from the other side of this, and considering what you've been through, and considering some of Hallie's situation with postpartum, etc. Are you would you be okay having that conversation here and
Absolutely.
speaking? Okay.
Yeah, I realize the more that I'm able to actually speak, I feel a bit better about it because I never really mention it except with my fiance and with my therapist.
Mm.
And I do want to be able to be that voice because I do feel like it's a necessary conversation to have. So I'm open to that. Just let me know.
Okay, well, I'm definitely gonna be letting you know. I would love to get you in there. I would love us to just to unpack all of that. It's so much going on. And shout out to your fiance. I had no idea that you had a whole king over there taking care of the queen. So shout out to the king, baby, for taking care of our queen to live. So shout out and much love to him. I'm gonna touch bases with you on Insta, and we can just plan that conversation too.
Sounds good.
And thank you for sharing, boo.
Thank you for having me. Have a good night.
That was our Delia, you guys. I love when my conscious crew come through, y'all, okay? Because a lot of y'all are A1s and day ones, and I ain't seen y'all in a minute, so I love when y'all push through. Perp! Any lasting words? Because I think that you done said it all, honey.
Oh, I gotta thank you, first of all. Because of you, it opened up my whole willingness to be more willing to date an androgynous man, because I got to see real time how I could live that out practically from experiencing you. So you gave me that gift, and I appreciate you for it. And I can't thank you enough for that.
No,
but
thank you.
I have learned so much from you. As you well know, because me and you, we would go at it because we both gonna stand in that pussy
We have grown
regardless.
together, honey.
Yes, we have.
Look,
It's been a wonderful journey.
It astonished me that some of y'all are really like, y'all are really out here like thinking through. Y'all are thinking through and feeling through, and look, as somebody who's always like transforming in my mind and transforming my own consciousness, I have like such respect for people who can do that, because I know what goes into like what goes into shift, what goes into a change in perspective, or what goes into growth in that way. So light and love to you, Perp. You're always gonna have a home here, boo, and I appreciate you.
Thank you. And I gotta tell you some things. We gotta catch up because I have changed a lot.
Email me. Shoot me an email.
Yeah.
Shoot me an email.
And I am so excited to share some things with you.
Share.
I am so grateful. Thank you for everything you do and for having the patience and still enduring, because I know it's not easy, because I done taught some people and they don't make me question life. And I'm like, God bless CTV for being able to sit on a panel for hours on air and hear some BS that I would be like, look, you need to get
Thank you, baby. I appreciate you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
That was our Perp, y'all. And Kazi, last but not least, any final words, boo?
Yes, I like to. It's my first time here, and I'm a little bit nervous, but I thank you for making me feel so comfortable coming up here and speaking for the first time.
Thank you.
And I might be popping up a little bit more later. I finally got up here. It's a lot of times I'm listening up here and I want to say stuff, and I was like, no, I don't know, man. But thank you.
I love
more people think like you that I also agree with. Oh yeah, man.
I love when you guys hit the link, and this is not the type of show where you have to have a conclusion. You can work your stuff out in real time on this panel. A lot of times we working this stuff all out in real time. Like we are mowing through it, we redoing the math, we putting this together, putting that together. So it's no pressure. Continue to hit the panel, please. I enjoyed you, and thank you for being a supporter.
Yes, sir. Oh yeah,
right,
one more thing. I know they're out there. Any straight men that's listening, I know they're listening. I know they're out there. Think about this. If you truly believe that it's unattractive for a woman to be independent, and the only reason that she likes you is because you need to be needed, and that is your only purpose on this earth, or even in this relationship, it's 2025. You gotta, time to step it up. We gotta get past this whole you're the body. This is we are more than just that. Just like women are just more than just being right, having kids. Da da da. As you can see, we all can evolve. We all can get better, and you can actually go out and do what you want to do and be who you want to be, no matter what anybody says. As a man, point blank. Period. I'm out.
Absolutely. All right, boo. That was our Cassie. Wonderful panel. And then there were two Bubs. Unpack whatever your thoughts are, feelings are, whatever you made of, everything, let it be known, child.
I mean, I appreciate everybody that came through and spoke their truth, because that's what we need more of. We need more of people speaking their truths. I know at first you was like, girl, I do not want to do this live, bitch. I'm so over it. And look what happened. Look at the transformation that CTV went through in real time. So can we give it up for CTV? Going from being apocalyptic to girl now, heal the world. Look at you. And look what manifested. Shout out to everybody that came up and shared their testimonies, their stories. That's what we need more of. And now it's on y'all. I mean, we had the conversation. The can of worms are opened, and now I think we just need to explore it. But I do want to say one thing lastly. 1 second. It was something I wanted to say, because it was this thing that I remember seeing that I wanted to touch on, because y'all was talking about masculinity and heterosexuality. This is from Marilyn Fry, The Politics of Reality, and it reads, to say that straight men are heterosexual is only to say that they engage in sex, fucking exclusively with the other sex, i.e. women. All or almost all of that which pertains to love, most straight men reserve exclusively for other men. The people whom they admire, respect, adore, revere, honor, whom they imitate, idolize, and form profound attachments to, whom they are willing to respect, admiration, recognition, honor, reverence, and the love they desire, those are overwhelmingly other men. In their relations with women, what passes for respect is kindness, generosity, and paternalism. What passes for honor is removal to the pedestal from women that want devotion, sex, and service. Lastly, heterosexual male culture is homoerotic. It is male loving. So yes, to that point, everybody was saying, despite our own perspectives and viewpoints, this all points back to patriarchy. Again, it's a part of this system. And if you want to know more about that, you can definitely purchase that book, Blame It on the Dress, The Manufacturing of Black Homophobia and Performative Masculinity. Literally touches on everything we talked about today. Literally everything we talked about is in that book. And also make sure y'all subscribe to my channel for my dramatic interpretation of it. And yeah, we're going to get into it. So I enjoyed the live. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all for having me on the platform. I know a place where you can recharge your soul, and in the midst of brokenness, he gonna see you as whole, or in this case, see your asshole. You know, so
I was on mute.
Of course.
What a freaking outro. All above links are in the description box, you guys. Thank you so much, Buzz, for being here.
Thank you.
I always enjoy you. Bubs gets pussy deep into these type of topics, so you guys definitely head over. He is now the new king of long ass ghost graveyard shift ass live streams, baby. So baby, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Bubs to God on YouTube and Bubs to God on Instagram. I love
Cash App. It's my birthday.
And
month. I'll be on the 26th. Will be my birthday. Yes.
Is your Cash App in your name?
Yes, $signs, Bubs.
There you go.
Whatever y'all want to see in.
Show some love.
That's if y'all want to. It's not obligated, but if you feel compelled.
We worked. Look, if y'all want the king to continue to king, baby, the community got a community, but we work today. We work. I'm tired. All right, we love y'all. We'll check y'all later. Peace.